Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Laureli Shimayo. This is our MeWe Awakening panel for energizing body, mind, heart, and soul. We have events throughout the Northwest, including online. This is our online panel. Our panels have themes. Today is Friday the 13th, and so our theme is Witchcraft and Alchemy. There are 6 or 7 of us. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 now, and there may be 7 of us on the panel tonight that are answering your questions. It's free to be here to listen and learn, and it's a small price to ask a question of the panel. We're going to go through and introduce ourselves and talk a bit about the theme, and then we'll be available for questions. I think we've got 1 person in line already. Let me get a whole bunch of information in the chat for you. I have my assistant Anissa helping today, and she's not used to running the panels with me. I usually do it myself. So she doesn't know the pattern of how I paste everything in the chat. There's some basic info in the chat about who's here and how this works and how to pay if you want to ask a question. We request that you pay first and then let us know in the chat that you want to ask a question, and we'll get you in line. And you'll probably have 4 or 5 or maybe all 6, 7 of us answering your question. And I'm going to put information on all the practitioners in the chat as well. And it's a larger event tonight, so hopefully we won't have any bombing, although that can happen. And we just have some unusual names joining us in the waiting room right now. So we aim to bring care to this, and thanks everyone for flowing with us if stuff happens. All right. Let's see. So let's get started with doing our introductions, and I'll put the rest of the info on the practitioners here in the chat. So let's start off the same order as before, maybe. So we'll have Susy, Henry, and then Thorne. Thanks so much. Go ahead and take 2 to 3 minutes to introduce yourself and talk about the theme at the same time.
Thanks, Laureli. Hi, everyone. I'm Susy Parker Goins. Blue Lightning Healing is my business name. You can find it at bluelightninghealing.com. I'm a channel and an energy healer. I look at past lives. I will be happy to throw down cards, talk to ancestors and spirit guides. My goal is to help you become more accustomed to working with source and make it accessible to you so that you can work through any questions and find the answers you're looking for so that you can.
Nobody cares.
So that you
sorry,
can,
everyone. Yeah, we got to figure out what's going on.
Well, that's one of my favorite hexes is may that person get exactly what they deserve, because I don't believe in binding people to me.
Nobody cares.
And so, so I incorporate magic into my life every day. I grew up as,
Yeah, everyone, sorry. Okay, we get some adventure here trying to sort out what's going on.
Oh.
All right, 1 person might be gone. Go ahead.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate everyone holding the space there. And let me retract. So I grew up in an environment where I was Catholic, and I left the church at some point, and I realized that honestly, for me, it was so limiting because I could talk to the plants, to the animals, to the things around me. And it has brought me to a greater place of peace. And it has also opened me up to other modalities. So yeah, Reiki is not considered a very, you know what, we're going to get away from that sort of limiting belief. Reiki opened me up to so many other modalities, like exploring past lives and talking to ancestors and to spirit guides. And it's really helped me become a calmer person, where I can see more of the good in things and come to appreciate this other stuff. The other things around me and the lessons. I don't see anything as a failure right now. It's all a lesson. And there have been lessons in my life that have really shifted me around. And that's part of the magic for me. And to help me manifest these things, which make me a happier person, which make me a better person. And so I am looking forward to talking to folks today and finding out where they're coming from, what questions y'all have, so that we can fill in some gaps for you and move forward. I have a special, I believe it's MeWe 20 to get 20% off any session with me. And I am looking forward to sharing space with all of those who have the highest and best intention at heart. Thanks.
Thanks so much, Susie. Sorry for the introductions. If you have something else you want to share later, feel free to jump in as we go around. All right, Henry is next.
All right, so blessings to us all, including the bombers. As a hedge witch mystic, I believe all is divine, and it's not always what I like or what most of us will like, but I'm sending out light and love for everyone, even the people who want to be disruptive. They're just adding that dynamism to life, and it can be very disconcerting. So thank you, Susie, for moving through that. And hopefully you will all hold space for me if that happens while I'm talking. So real quickly, so I have a metaphysical consultancy because I work with many different modalities. You can see my hedge in the back. I literally live behind this gorgeous 10-foot hedge in this paradise here with the birds nesting, and it's very protected with this beautiful fruit tree canopy above. I've always believed that you can talk to anyone, whether it's a tree or a rose or a stone. It's nothing like we made up inorganic, organic. It's really all life. Because
I have a question.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, thank you. So it's you can look, now I'm going through what Susie went through. Where was I? All right, thank you so much, Laureli, for staying on top of things. So when we look at things through an electron microscope, we see that it's all alive and moving and vibrating and circulating. And so I think hedge witchery really brings this to the forefront. It's the part of witchcraft where you believe that everything is magical, even the normal. There's no such thing as the normal that's not magical. And as a hedge rider, really what you're doing is you're straddling between the 3D physical world and the divine meta reality, or the ground of all being, or the wonderful beyond. Different people have different names for it and have different experiences of it. And so that's very important. So I honor that. And basically what I do is I help you set free what is in you. Laureli said that earlier, and I really love that, Laureli. Indeed, set free what is in us, because what is in you is the most gorgeous, divine, shining, powerful, empowered being. And we'll just need to do a little work. Like I had to do a lot of work to access that and free it and put it into action steps. Like first, maybe put it into how are we going to manifest this? What is the vision? Fine tune that. And okay, now what are the steps to make that happen? And I do this through tarot, through life coaching, ecotherapy, because a lot of us are very ecologically attuned. And so I use Reiki, I use spiritual counseling and life coaching. I think I mentioned all of it. And you can reach me at henryindiaholden.com. And my special is 3 sessions for $99. This is called the Fresh Slate.
Thanks so much, Henry. All right, next up we have Thorne.
Hello, excellent. Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Thorne. My name sign in American Sign Language is this up the cheek. And I am deaf and utilize ASL. I'm from the Portland, Oregon area in the Northwest, Pacific Northwest specifically. And honestly, I've been practicing these modalities for as long as I can remember. I first became interested through tarot, and then I began doing energy work. And from there, I did some work with chakras, Reiki. I do intuitive work, intuitive channeling. So again, there's many different modalities in my knapsack, as it were. I also do astrology, star charts, things like that. So sort of a jack of all trades. And I'm very excited to be here with all of you. So I'm very excited to see what sort of energy manifests tonight in this room. Again, it's Friday the 13th, a very magical number, because 13, of course, is connected to the moon and the moon cycles. and sort of the whole healing of the earth altogether. So wow, yeah, this weekend is just really a full moon eclipse, and so there's just a lot of energy happening right now this weekend. So really, really looking forward to seeing again just sort of how that manifests, and also being on the panel and really learning and listening with you guys. So yeah, my special for this is I'm offering readings. The first will be the full moon in Scorpio. So we'll do readings in that. And then we also have the Mercury retrograde, which is happening. So I'll be doing readings for those as well. So that is the special I'm offering. And you can find me on Instagram. My handle is @SpiritOracle. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. My @Heart of Oak. Thank you. And then my website is www.spiritoracle.com. So that's my website if you'd like to connect with me on either that or Instagram. And I think that's it. Awesome. All right. Oh, one more thing before I close. I also just wanted to add that I do a lot of work with fairy energy and magic as well. So again, if that inspires you to ask a question related to that, then let's go for it. Again, really looking forward to tonight. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Thorne. We'll have Lisa go next and then Joshua.
Thank you, Lorelei. Good evening, Mystics. I am so excited to be with you here tonight on Friday the 13th. I'm Lisa Stewart of Sigil Magic Goddess. I call myself a creative mixed medium. Since I was very young, I have always had my foot in each dimension. I've had an invisible friend at an early age, and that gave me the courage to work with Fae and other folks on the other side of the veil. Now, it's my mission to help mystics like you find the courage to co-create with spirit. The one thing that gets me charged up is when people find the courage to create and inspire themselves to keep going and pursuing their dreams. I have over 30 years of business experience, and as an intuitive business coach, I help mystics like you find the courage to co-create your business vision using your intuition to grow your confidence and your income. As a seer, I have the ability to see the bigger picture for your business and guide you on the right path to rapid growth. For instance, when I met a woman who created lotions many years ago, I saw that she was going to open up a spa in New York City. She did. She opened 2. For others, I've seen books in their future to help them launch their careers. It's different for everyone. And today I'm launching a new Oracle deck that beginning with energies. And as I mentioned, I've matched energies with different aspects of your business. So if you're feeling stuck, uninspired, or just want to get started in your business, let's work together to conjure some magic. Also, lastly, I can call my spirit kitties back from the cosmos. If you've had an animal that's moved from this world to the next, and you'd like more information on what steps to rekindle your energetic relationships, I'm happy to share that with you too. I have a few specials tonight so that we can work together. The specials includes discounts on digital planners, workshops, and business oracle readings. You can find me at sigilmagicgoddess.com. And of course, I'm on all the socials. So I look forward to working with you tonight and answering whatever questions you might have. I'm Lisa Stewart with Sigil Magic Goddess. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Lisa. We've got Joshua next. And just Joshua, before you go, we have one other practitioner that was going to join us tonight, and we just found out that there's a death in the family, and so she's not going to be here. And so Anissa, yeah, before you take her out of the document, I just want to share about her so you know who she is. Yeah, just our connection and energy towards her. It's Norma De La O. Her business is Sparks of Healing. She does chakra cleansing, alignment, spiritual healing, witchcraft, and animal healing. Her website is wingsforlove.com. That's WINGS4LOVE.com. sparksofhealing7@gmail.com. And yeah, so our thoughts go to her. Yeah, Nissa, go ahead. All right. Yeah, we got that info to Thorne's info. Go ahead, Joshua.
All right. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm excited to be here. I do want to take just 5 seconds to send some love and healing energy towards her and hope that everything is okay in her family. So just going to take a moment for that. And so my name is Joshua Martin at The Conscious Dreamer. I'm a divine channel and divine problem solver, as my friends like to call me. I can help anyone with just about anything. I specifically use tarot as a container for working, And I also do Akashic past life readings. I feel like this is especially prevalent right now. So much of where people I'm seeing is that they've done a lot of work within this lifetime, but they're not sure what that next step is. And so oftentimes these are contracts we've made in past lifetimes or limiting beliefs that we have learned in different experiences that are coming back up now to be seen. So oftentimes we're closing out timelines from thousands of years ago from other planets, other solar systems, other galaxies. And we're doing all of the work right now in this timeline, in this embodiment. So that's specifically what I love doing, helping people see how what they've gone through, what their soul has experienced in other lives, how that can be really powerful in their healing journey now in this lifetime. So I work with tarot, I do past life readings. I also work really intimately with crystal beings, helping others learn how to create new relationships with crystals as well, working with them as conscious companions. So I do that through shamanic journey work, as well as full body crystal healing grids to facilitate cleansing chakras, clearing limiting beliefs and blocks within our energy field, and helping people connect to the unconditional love and support that's always available to them through these crystal beings, through angels, through all of the dimensions as we go higher and higher. So I'm super excited to be here and to answer any questions that people may have about opening up their own channels, working with crystal beings, and see where that all goes. So thank you so much for having me here, Laureli.
Thanks so much, Joshua. All right, and I'm also on the panel as well. My name is Laureli Shimayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader and a body psychology coach. I read your eyes, read your soul, and answer questions about your soul, your path, your purpose, your career path, if you're interested in that, relationships that you're in, if you show me other people's eyes. I love to use this for matchmaking. I think that soulmates have similar eyes, similar souls, similar eyes. So I help you find people that have similar eyes to you. I love to do that with conscious online dating. I do business matchmaking as well, helping people see who to partner with that support them to bring their work out into the world. I help companies hire people, so all kinds of things. Our eyes share so much, and I believe that we all pick up so much from each other. We simply don't realize that we do. You can think about when you meet someone with dark sunglasses and you can't see their eyes, there's so much missing. And as soon as you see their eyes, there's so much there. I also do body psychology work. I'm noticing all kinds of things in body gestures and postures and all sorts of things. It's where our body gives us information. There might be something as little as an itch and our scratching it that actually is giving us information. It's where our body is sending us a signal. So I notice those things and I help you be more aware of those things. And then there are so many ways that you can utilize your body to shift and move forward. All kinds of ways of when you're stuck, like cords that are entangled, there are ways of cutting cords through your body, so many different things. I'm excited to be with you tonight. I try to think of I have a little bit written from a previous event about just some about the theme. So Friday the 13th is considered a gateway to magic. There's a special fear that's named from fear of the number 13 and Friday the 13th. So many things about this number. A famous witch's coven. So we have more bombing happening. No, or maybe just someone unmuted. Here we go. Or someone, yeah. A famous witch's coven was said to practice magic in a group of 13 witches. There are many more associations. Positive views of the number have popularized by people like Taylor Swift, who consider it a lucky number. She used to use it to decorate herself in concerts. So just all kinds of ways that it's has meaning in our culture, some scary things and some great things. And there's so many different ways of being witches and practicing. And I mean, I consider myself a witch. I've connected with that for a long time, probably even before I realized I was doing anything intuitive. Kind of interesting, the different ways that we let things in. And I think of everyone in this field as practicing some form of alchemy or witchcraft. And alchemy too. I used to be a scientist. So I used to play in the lab before I played more with energy, aware of that I was playing with energy. Again, I think that we all play with energy. This is part of what we all do. Are we willing to be aware of our capacity of like the power that we have to use it in ways that are good, to use it to align ourselves with the energy of the universe that comes through us? We all can choose that. Are we willing? Do we step in? Oh, all these opportunities. So that's about me, Laureli Shimayo, and I have a special today too. I have it's around 45% off my sessions if you sign up for something today or the next few days after being here at this event. And I have a lower rate for BIPOC folks as a step of making reparations. All right, great. And it looks like, oh yeah, Dana was stuck for a minute. Okay, great. All right, let's see. So practitioners, anything else that you want to share about yourselves before we jump into more information about the event tonight? Anything else about yourselves you want to say, or anything about the theme? Go ahead. Go ahead, Thorne.
Here. Hi, Thorne here. I also just wanted to mention that I identify as a member of the LGBTQA2 spirit community as well as a practitioner. And so, you know, there's a lot of intersectionality within my identity and the community that I serve. And so that also, Laureli, you had mentioned the BIPOC community. That's also one of the priority communities that I also wish to really focus on and support. So yeah, we approach everything with open minds, open hearts, you know, and we will just see where everything goes today. So, but I did just want to throw that out there, that again, that is also a priority group for me. Is I can also work with folks that are deaf and hearing. I work with folks that utilize American Sign Language or not. And so there are no limits. Excellent. Just wanted to throw that out there. Thank you.
That's great. Thanks so much. There are several of us on the panel that are non-binary. Just really, we aim to be open in as many ways as we can. All right, great practitioners. Anything else? And we keep having more and more people join. We are officially the largest MeWe event we have had so far, and hopefully it continues to grow. Great. And we've been having these events since the beginning of 2019. We started our online events, and so they picked up a lot the last couple of years, and we're excited to continue to grow the community. Well, I'll start talking about how this event runs. Practitioners, if you think of anything else, feel free to jump in. So there are the 6 of us on the panel tonight. We are available to answer your questions. We request that you pay to ask a question. It's free for you to be here to listen and learn with all that's shared. It's also a great time to practice opening to your intuition. So we recommend that you have something to write with, something to write on. It can be electronic. It's better often if it's like with your hands, it's tactile, anything that's showing up. You might have awareness, just ideas showing up for you right now. Write, draw, see what comes through you, and see if that correlates with something that we answer. It's a great opportunity to get confirmation that you're on the path and that you're opening in the same way other practitioners do. You, of course, may have all kinds of other insight come through tonight that is so valid that we happen to not mention. It's great to get that confirmation. It's part of how we all support each other in continuing to open to our gifts. We request that you allow the attention to stay up on the panel tonight. If something does come through you for someone that asks a question, we request that you hold it until we're done answering their question. And then if you want to, you're welcome to private chat them and ask them if they'd like to hear what came through you, possibly for them. Please honor whatever they share, practice consent. They may feel full and they may not want anything else at that time. So please trust that it came through you for some other reason. Also, this is recorded and will be published online. So it's a big group context. So when you ask a question, if we go deeper than you want us to be answering in this format, or we talk about topics that you don't want us sharing about here, please let us know. You can give us guidance ahead of time, interrupt us if we're answering in a way that you don't want us sharing about right now. We're here to honor you. So please let us know how to do that. I think those are all the basics. I say, and many of you are new, probably your first time here at one of the MeWe events. I've recognized a number of people, and for some of you, you're new. It's great if you ask a personal question, something that's deep and real and meaningful, the kind of question that you would ask when you're sitting alone with a practitioner, and you get the insight now of not just one practitioner, you get the insight probably of all 6 of us. We're really excited to share with you. It's a great magical experience for all to do this together, and we're all supporting each other doing this together in community. Just the energy and support of all of us enables all of us to open and be in our power that much more. The magical alchemical experience, right, of all of us together. So I think we've got one person in line with a question. Oh yeah, and I see she's right towards the front. Let me just see if anyone else has stepped in yet. Maybe not yet. Okay, great. Yeah, so some of you, it's a new experience. So you might want to get some awareness of what this is like first. All right, let's see. So Angelique, I believe that you're first in line. It's up to you if you want to turn on your video, and we'll bring you up here on Spotlight with us. Or you can simply ask vocally. You can message it in the chat and we'll read it. And I've already said your name. For those of you that want to ask later, if you want to remain anonymous, you can do that too. All right, I'm going to bring you up on Spotlight. You can change your name in Zoom and write your question in the chat to me, and I'll read it off. No one has to know who you are. Angelique, thanks for joining us. Yeah, when you get settled a little bit, unmute, and we look forward to hearing what your question is. Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
All right. I guess I haven't been here before, so I'm not really sure how to go about this.
It's great. So just open up and share whatever it is you want to share, whatever you want to share, ask what you want to ask. It's okay if you want to ask several questions and we'll kind of weave them together in how we answer. It's up to you.
The 10th, a few days ago, was the 2-year anniversary of my love crossing over when I was 13 and my girls' father. So I was wondering if there's anything that dropped in for anybody from him.
Great. Yeah, thanks for sharing. Any other particular flavor, anything else you want to say? Or just anything related to that from him? Any messages from him?
I'm trying to move into a better home for my children, and I know that there's a block, and I feel like he's trying to show me where it's at, and I haven't heard clearly enough, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, and practitioners, we have maybe at least one practitioner on the panel that's new. Just raise your hand in chat and Zoom when you're ready to answer. And maybe just a little bit that I'll share here is in your eyes, it looks like you're really creative and you're sensitive to energy. And you probably have some lessons with knowing that you're good enough and that you're worthy. You probably are super inspiring, encouraging of other people. And inside you have some questions of yourself. You might see ways that you need to do more or better. And so some wondering or judgments of yourself may be part of what gets in the way. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Like there may be some way that you blame yourself of something that you didn't do, or just some ways that you are connected to how he passed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to encourage you that his soul is on its own journey. Like you're the energy of you feel just so pure. I mean, I believe that we're all good at our core. Your energy feels so good and caring, and I just imagine you in particular, that there's nothing that you're doing wrong. We all have lessons. Your goodness is shining brightly.
Thank you.
Right? You and your kids are worthy. Hey, Susie's ready. Go ahead, Susie.
Hi, Angelique. I feel a lot of grief on your part, and that is fine. It's okay to be sad. I feel a bit of shame on his part because he's not there to help you through with this. I would like to ask you, have you asked him for any sort of guidance or help, or have you asked from source in any way? Because with my understanding, source isn't going to just come swooping in like a superhero, their fists on their hips going tra-la-la. You've got to ask for the help, and then to listen for the answers and understand that these answers are not going to come in some sort of really block print in front of you saying, do this here. He feels a wee bit lost because he's not happy that he's not there with you. So to have an exchange of forgiveness to happen, which is to reclaim your energy from him, your power from him, and he can reclaim his from you. And that way you can move freely about so that you can find these paths as opposed to the one that you may have thought you should have been on. I feel that the word should is the big block here. what should I be doing? This is what should have been. So being able to release that should, that actually it's a limiting belief from yourself, will help you move forward in a path that has, okay, what I'm seeing is this path right now is quite straight and narrow, but once you remove the should from the equation, then it's going to open up. And I see just this amazing garden in front of you of possibilities that open up and show you a variety of ways. Your children, I've been hearing them and seeing them, and they are talking in this love language that your grief is blocking. If you can just take a moment to allow them in that way, to love them back. And coming from that place of love will open up so many more of those possible answers to you. Let's look at this. Awake. Holding stones with you. I love working with crystals. So like I have my obsidian. I've got my lovely obsidian skull. I also use shungite extensively. These are black stones that are very grounding and they absorb negativity from you. So those days when you're feeling particularly down on yourself, grab one of a dark crystal if you have them. I don't know if you work with them. It's just some way to take up more space on my desk and my windowsill and my side table over here. I love my crystals. But I think that shungite is going to be very helpful for you to help you remove some of these old attachments. There are some attachments over there too that can be removed, and we can use energy with which to do that, to shift them over, to encapsulate them, and to send them off into the light, because that grief is kind of just holding on to you. Where is it? Feeling it here on your shoulder. And so to encapsulate that in light, so it releases out to source, so you can move forward, remove the guilt from you, remove his guilt from you and his shame. And there is great possibilities there.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're so very welcome. And my heart goes with you. Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks, Susie. We've got Lisa and then Henry.
Good evening, Angelique. I'm so glad that you're here with us tonight. And I know that it sounds like you've been having a pretty tough time. The initial feeling I got is that you've got some kind of grandmother energy around you. I don't know if you're in touch with maybe ancestors, or have you had a grandmother pass recently, or are you at all in communication with any of your grandmothers?
I do a lot of ancestral work. The last time I had Bowen a couple months ago, my love Larry and my grandmother were both there working on me, pulling cords. A couple days ago, somebody, we learned information when we're supposed to, I'm sure. He crossed over during a motorcycle accident, and the EMT just told the girl at the scene, she just told me this information a couple days ago, and they let her know that they told her that his neck was completely crushed and that he was brain dead, but he said something, and then they brought him back to life long enough to take his kidneys and then let him off again. And I know that there was a lot of drugs involved, and I didn't know that because we were separated. So I just, I don't, he came to see us, 2 days before the accident. And I don't know, I'm trying really hard. I've learned so many grief ceremonies and traditions and ways to process. And I'm working, but I'm rewriting my story, I'm not gonna, I guess I'm still trying to figure all that out. And having grandchildren together, and even just being together, spending time with them.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, and all of that healing is going to take so much time, and it's different for everybody, and it can come in waves, and there are other days when you feel just fine and suddenly it hits again. I've been there. It's, deep breath and just stay grounded. I had pulled one of my energy cards for you, and it was fire. And while this is business oriented, wands are wands, right? It's all about courage and creativity. And so what I did is I pulled another card for you, a little more specific tarot card here. And this is the 7 of Matches. This is from the 5-cent tarot, but really it's, the 7 of Wands. And here it shows your perseverance, and it shows your conviction, and that you're also protected. And so just be mindful that, you've got your grandmother's there with you, and him as well. And the fact that, they are there whenever you need them. And so maybe it's a matter of reaching out to them again and asking specific questions. I just know that specificity is everything. So just, be specific in the answer that you're looking for, and you might find some clarity. I hope that helps.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
But
Thanks, Lisa. We've got Henry and then Joshua and then Thorne. Let's get you unmuted though.
Yep, I'm gonna collect all these cards right now. So I got a lot of stuff for
So
you.
everybody, Henry's getting ready to show some cards, and Henry's been designing these cards, in case Henry doesn't say that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for bringing that up, because I always, gosh. So I think this goes for you were asking about your dad, right?
My
Husband.
children's
I'm sorry? For
my children's father.
children's father. Okay, so somehow, is there a reason why your dad would be coming through?
We've become estranged lately, but he's still here on Earth.
Hmm. Okay, so I think this is, I'm sorry, I just have to go with what shows up, because otherwise, I'm just making it up. Who knows, maybe I'm making it up. But anyway, I'm one of those doubting believers. Does that make sense? So I think this reading is for you and your dad. Somehow he is supposed to play a pivotal role. So you have innocence over here. So why that is here is because there's innocence lost between the two of you. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. And then death, transformation, death is playing a very pivotal role. So I think that your dad is supposed to help you with your husband. Can you see how he would be doing that?
I see how they're very much alike.
Okay.
And I can see how there's generational patterns that are playing out.
Okay.
With my father, our relationship was more, he offered a way out of this world. And he kind of cheered me on when I would overdose in my 20s. I'm 41 now. That's thankfully I processed a lot through resonance repatterning, but
okay, so I'm sorry. Let me stop you right there, because I have limited time. So I'm sorry. I do want to hear what you have to say, but I have limited time. So this next card, the seasons, just acknowledges that you're cycling through the same thing again. So you're basically still in the same story. And then this authority is about, you have the authority to stop this cycle. You have the power also to stop this cycle, and you have the resources to stop this. And then shadow and light is about that right now. You haven't looked closely. So, but you've looked closely enough to where you were able to say to me that there's a repeating of the family romance, yes?
I'm almost done, okay? Thank you. No. I'll be right out in just a little bit. I'll give you 5 minutes. Sorry about that.
No, no worries. So there's, my time is up, but I'll just complete this. So there's a repeating of the family romance, and that's the shadow and light. But you know this, you told me that already. So the first card, innocence, is what to hold on to. Like how would you talk to your dad if you felt he was innocent and if you felt you were innocent? How would the two of you work together to complete this cycle, this karma that is expressing itself and how this is showing up in your life? If you kept thinking about that you're the divine and ultimately the true self that you are is innocent. This is what I have to offer. I hope that's helpful.
Thank you.
Oh, and stop sharing.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Henry. Yeah. All right, great. Let's see. So then we've got Joshua and then Thorne. Go ahead, Joshua.
Hi, Angelique. Thank you so much for coming on and being open and being vulnerable. So I pulled a couple cards for you as well. And specifically the past energy that I'm seeing you still connected to is this kind of fear of shifting or recreating that like sense of homelessness or not having somewhere to like settle into, being safe, being grounded, being protected somewhere. And so
Yeah.
this fear is like projecting and creating a future of like going back into that. So I really want to bring through this specific message about those past energies of, and other practitioners have shared that you have this power, you have the abilities to create that for yourself. And now you're just going along this path where you can see it and believe it for yourself. And so I'm seeing that this connection with your partner, this relationship, a lot of that was like this externalization of power of like, we can help protect each other. We can help keep each other safe. And now that he is not there, I don't know if I can do it on my own. And I can tell you that you can do it on your own because I know you can, but it's about you really believing that for yourself. And so you're moving into this present energy, which is all about coming into your own power. It's this mystic energy. So I know you are asking for signs and information. And I think it's come to the point now where it's really time for you to get that information yourself and to really figure out what the modality is, what the method is, whether it's tarot, whether it's crystals, whether it's just going on a walk and seeing if there are plants or crystals or stones or people that you see that are sparking anything. So now's the time to start really checking in with your intuition, learning what your own abilities are. How does spirit, how does source, how do deceased ones, if that's what you're looking for, how do they come through and talk to you? Because it might not be words, it might be colors or symbols. So really starting to learn and understand your own intuitive abilities. And I see this future where the most important thing is going to be starting to take down some of the walls, some of the barriers, some of the protection mechanisms that you have that might not be serving you anymore. Because there's going to be this tendency or this this habit of, oh, I'm feeling whether it's scared or nervous or unsure about the future. So I need to put up more walls. I need to be more protected and more safe. And I'm just seeing this call to, whenever you feel the fear or feel the scared, to, that's your sign to open up more, to let more of the walls go down and really learn how to trust yourself and know that no matter what, you're going to create that home. You're going to create that safety for yourself, even if the tendency is to want to run and hide. And that's okay. Maybe you do that for a little bit. You get yourself that opportunity to ground, to feel safe, to feel protected, and then step out, let the protection go down and really trust yourself to walk naked and vulnerable in this world.
Yeah.
So best of luck on your journey, Angelique.
Thank you, Joshua.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Joshua. Thorne is up next. And by the way, I put in the chat too that we take donations to help pay for the interpreters. If you'd like to contribute, it's up there in the chat. If you have any questions about that, please let us know. Go ahead, Thorne. Thanks, Emily and Dana, for being here supporting the event.
Yeah. Okay, so first of all, absolutely, yes. Awesome interpreters. Thank you so much. And moving along. So Angelique, wow. Thank you so much for sharing your story, where your journey has brought you today. We really appreciate that. And while I've been listening thus far, I noticed I picked up 3 fairy cards for you because I feel like fairy energy is, very applicable to your story that you're sharing. And I feel it just came up for me. So here's the first. Oh, I can get the light on it. This fairy card is the bright mother, and it's related to the moon energy, the moon's energy, mother energy, earth, all kind of bound into one, that type of energy. So really what thus far, those people who have been supporting you and experiencing your journey thus far really guided you, and you recognize that and had a tie to that in your surroundings with your community, your children, your family, all of those dynamics. Then I noticed they were there all the way thus far, and how to connect that with your experience that you're going through right now, and your relationships all correlate. So the second card that I drew was this one, if you can see it.
Oh, yeah.
So that's fawn. That's the fawn card. And so what I see with that is a deer energy, basically, is encapsulated into this card. And it's really about how to move with that energy of the deer, using your intuition and moving and trusting your body and trusting yourself more, really going with your intuition and understanding different perspectives and frameworks in the world. And really, it's more depending on yourself as well, rather than depending on external people. And really, it's good for gathering information. It's good to gather resources, of course, but it's really important to balance that with your trust in yourself and building up that confidence in yourself. And like the practitioner said, the other one's really trusting yourself, having confidence in yourself is really an important part of the journey, and working with that. So really having that balance will really give you, I think, a greater understanding at where you're at right now, and will help you move forward. And the third card, it's really cool. This one, I'm glad I drew this.
Oh, pretty.
Yeah, so that one is the retriever. So that's the card I drew. So it's really what you retrieve, what you get from this experience, and how you can apply that based on past experiences, and how you've used your past experiences to apply to where you're at today. And really that's all intermingled with your understanding of yourself. Is what I've noticed about these 3 cards, because your spirit can have that empathy and have that understanding, but still not think about how the past can apply to right now, but really that all relates to where you are in yourself. And with sharing about your environment and your path that you're going on, and thinking about your future path, safety absolutely is the core right now for you, it seems, with what we've mentioned thus far. But really the root chakra is more you being related to your roots, really deep inside of yourself, and really building up so you're ready to be more confident and ready to continue your journey. Just that using not only the external factors, but really trusting in yourself, and again using your intuition, those internal factors. And remember, you're not alone. That's really the important thing to remember. So yeah, but I wish you luck on your path.
Oh, thank you so much. That really resonated. My native name as a child is Jumping Deer. So I love how you brought the deer into all of this and tied everyone's comments together. I appreciate all of you.
Thank you so much, Angelique. Just practitioner is just checking in to see if there's anything else you wanted to share with Angelique. Yeah, thanks so much, Angelique, for jumping in your first time here and getting us started today, letting us share with you. Thank you so much. Right, next in line, we have Nicole, Catherine, and Raven Jules. So Nicole is up next. You're welcome to come up on Spotlight if you'd like to. We just need to have your video turned on. And then you'll come to the front and I can bring you up here. Look for Nicole. You don't have to come up here. I just need to know what it is you want to do.
Okay, so
Great.
how many questions can I ask?
You can ask several questions at just briefly here up front, and we'll mix together and see how we answer. You might get different answers from different practitioners. Just go ahead.
Okay. Basically what's going on right now is that we've been working really hard trying to move into this house that, you know, was basically promised to us. Wednesday, he told us it was all good to go. Less than 12 hours later, he changed everything on us. And we have been banking on this house for months. I already enrolled my daughter in school there. Really, what I want to know is, why did that happen? Like, did that happen? Did it get taken away because something greater is coming, or our whole world just got shattered with this? And so really, I just want to know why.
And then you say, who is the he? Is this like some landlord of the property or what?
It was the realtor that we were working a deal out with. Everything was all set for months to go this way. And then at the last minute, he just changed it all up.
And sorry, it's a little bit distracted. I have like multiple things going on. This is someone that you had relationship with before. I didn't hear who this is. Sorry.
It's a friend of a friend,
Friend of a
basically.
friend. Okay, yeah.
So our friend hooked us up with this realtor.
Right.
Because they were doing work on the house that we were supposed to move into. It was the realtor's house, but a buddy of ours was doing the remodeling. So we said, hey, you know, you might really like this house. Why don't you come talk to Alex, who is the realtor, and we can, you know, get you guys together. And my husband worked out a plan and everything with them, and everything's been going great for months. And we were supposed to move in this weekend, and within 12 hours, he just changed his mind. So I kind of feel like maybe it was for a reason. Or
have you talked to the friend that connected you with this person too?
No.
I think you should talk with that friend. That friend needs to know what's going on. That friend either is going to have insight, or this friend's going to be able to do something about it. And it may be that it's a different property and not this one through that person. But I feel like the connection through the friend who got you connected is important.
Right.
So part of it for me is you knowing that you're, how to say, I feel like you have some question of your value and their good resources are coming to you, and stepping into knowing that you're worthy of these resources is being able to be clear with the people that are involved. Right.
Right.
They set up this agreement. They said this would happen.
Yeah.
Right. And there's a way that you've been counting on something, and how are they going to work with you to make this right? It doesn't have to be that house, like not fighting for that house. I agree that the universe has shifted things for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for what?
I don't know exactly what, but I know that you advocating for yourself is important. So asking the question here, and to me, I would encourage you too, that it's asking why is useful if it helps you go in the next direction. Like if it helps
That's
you.
what we're looking for, because now we're starting at ground zero again. So
I'm going to
now we
encourage you,
need to
you're
know
not
how
ground
to-
zero. You're not ground zero. I encourage you to not tell yourself the story that you're starting at ground zero. Yeah, I don't think that you are. I know, let's have Joshua go, and I might come back in with something else too.
And I had just a couple of other like really quick questions.
Go ahead, say what they are. Just go ahead, say what they are, so everyone has the whole mixture, and then.
Okay, and then one of them was a lost friend. He died. Where is he, and is he in pain? Did he die in pain? Is there any way to get signs or communicate with him in any way?
I'll say briefly, just from having sat on a bunch of the mediumship panels, speak out to the universe speak out to him that you're available and that you want to connect with him, and ask him to show you a sign, or ask your guides to show you a sign about that. So you can ask for those things. And yeah, I feel some tension and angst, and I wonder that something's hard about him passing, but that's just, I don't know where that comes from in me. Yeah. And did you have another question too that you wanted to throw in the mix?
We also have a house that we're fighting for that's going through court here soon. I just want to know what you guys, if you had any feelings about how that might turn out, or a tarot reading or anything like that.
You said a house going through court?
Yes, we're fighting for a house. Very long story on that. But we have a court case going through. The papers are being sent out Monday, so that's all going to get started. I'm really just wondering if you have any idea on if it's going to go positive for us, or.
Okay, great. Thank you for all your questions. All right, Joshua's next, and I'm sure more people are going to have answers.
Okay.
Let's get you unmuted.
Okay, can you hear me now? All right. So Nicole, I pulled a couple cards for you just to get some more clarity about what energetically you're connected to, so we can see, you know, why is all this happening? What's going on? Where is this trying to take you? So the past energy that I pulled a card is going to be the Three of Trees. And this is a reverse card. So this is telling me that you're coming from a lot of energies of abundance. You're used to, whether it's having what you want or used to living like a more luxurious, comfortable, abundant lifestyle. And so now you're moving into this present energy of the reversed sacrifice card. So you're going through these energies now that are all about staying and standing in your own personal integrity. So that's kind of what these lessons are bringing you through, is interacting with, seeing, and meeting other energies that are not in integrity. And it's like making sure that you're not going to bend or break or shift what you want to accommodate these things. So with this specific house of like, oh, they said that they were going to let us have this, but now it's not working out anymore, is to me feeling like this, is that really what you wanted? Or was it just easy, or something that seemed like whether it was a good deal, of making sure that you didn't want that house just because it was easy to get, and making sure that it really ticked every single box on your list. Because if it's not really what you wanted, then you're not putting all of your energy into it. And there is this aspect of like, well, I'm sacrificing to get this, and that might lead to resentment down the line. So really making sure that, was this actually a house that I loved every single thing about, or was just this the house that seemed like it was handed to me on a platter, so I might as well take it because it's right there. And then moving forward into this energy that's all about opening up, that's all about seeing all of the possibilities. It seems like you got pretty tunnel vision and like, this is the only option, so I'm just going to go along with it. And so this is really about taking a step back of like, well, I don't need to rush into anything, and maybe the thing that looked the best or looked the easiest isn't actually the best fit. So I would take a few minutes, you know, really settle down and write out a list of like, what is everything that I have to have that has to be checked off before you then move into a new house. Because once you have the house, it's harder to change things. But while you're in this transition period, really get crystal clear about what it is you want. And real quick, to jump into your friend, I just checked in. There was no pain in the passing. Spirit knows when we're about to shift into something different, when we're about to leave this plane, and we prep beforehand. So if there was a traumatic incident that happened, he popped out of his body before the pain hit, because he didn't want to experience, none of us want to experience pain in that way. So we're like, let me leave before it gets to that point. So there was no pain in the passing. And I know another practitioner said this last time, but he's on his own journey. He's transitioning into something different, and there's no pain there. There's no like further reenactment of traumas. And if that is something that you want to reach out for, I know Laureli said this a little bit, start asking for those signs and be really specific. You don't need to be broad, like, oh, let me see a bird today. Like, let me see a specific type of bird or this number of birds, or things like that, where you're like, get really specific about what those signs look like and mean to you, and make them work a little bit for you. Your attention is valid. And so make what you want really specific. And I think that's just a good overarching message for you. So thank you so much, Nicole, and best
Thank
of
you.
luck.
Thanks.
Thanks, Joshua. We've got Thorne and then Lisa.
Hello, Nicole.
Hi.
Thank you so much for sharing everything that's happening right now. Wow, that you've had a lot of myriad of different experiences, all sort of jumping on top of each other. So I did have a question pertaining to the house that's currently in a court case.
Yes.
So I pulled a couple cards for you regarding that. So the deck I use is the Next Worlds deck.
Okay.
Yeah, Next World deck. So I just want to show you the cover there. So the first card that came is the Empress. I think this is interesting because the Empress is really connected to the earth and the energy of the earth. When we think of like rooting down and being in our strength and our power, that's the Empress's space. And that's that deep knowledge, that deep-seated knowledge that sits there. And I feel like you do have some of that Empress energy in you. You do. I feel like you have that deep grounded connection where you like are able to hold space for yourself, where you're able to sort of create a home and make it feel safe, like it's your space.
Yeah, I believe that.
And I really want you to keep in that. I really want you, that is a great quality. I want you to keep strong in that during this journey. It's going to be, you know, tempting to sort of feel pulled in different directions and think, where am I supposed to go? What are we supposed to do? But I want you to remember inside at the core is that deep-seated energy, that rooting down to the earth, the Empress. And then also, so the next card I pulled, let me explain a little bit. So a lot of times people sometimes get a little nervous when they see this card, but don't at all. This is just a card that can represent transitions.
That it's not my house that's in court. It's my boyfriend's house that's in court. I know.
I understand. Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you for clarifying.
House back from prior relationship.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you.
I'll tell you.
Oh yeah. And again, however this winds up playing out, I do think that these cards are going to have some relevance. The Death card, again, sometimes people get a little spooked when they see it, but what it actually represents
No, it means
is
a new
change.
beginning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Connected with the moon, new beginnings. Yes, 100%.
Yeah, things are going to end for a new beginning.
Yes. Yeah, and also, you know, as we know right now, we're Moon in Scorpio, you know, it's the weekend, you know, and so those things are all sort of correlating together and interplaying with each other. And so what do we need to clear out right now? What energy do we want to welcome in regarding a house? Like, what would we want to see manifest? I think those are some really important
what I
questions
want to
with the
see
Death.
is us win the court case.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. And it is possible. That is possible. I think time and energy will tell in that case. I also pulled this one. This is the Star. The Star represents hope, positive thinking, worth, power, value, all those things. And again, that can really help clean out. And so I think it's important that you continue to hold out hope and continue to envision all possibilities happening. So again, we have some change, but then we're also moving forward with the Star card and hope and allowing ourselves, you know, think of it sort of like it's like a little butterfly reminding you. It's like, oh, remember to look at all the possibilities. Remember to look around all the corners. Remember to look for the bigger picture, right? So let's broaden what could be, what we would want, what we could see. Also right now, again, just with the energy happening, there's also Mercury retrograde right now, which means, again, all information, all communication is slowed down. We're talking molasses. Things are getting delayed, miscommunications are happening. And part of that is with the Mercury retrograde. So with the court case, you'd said, you got the paperwork coming, there might be a ruling on Monday. So also keep in mind, some things might not happen in time. Some things might be delayed. It's important to understand that is because of Mercury retrograde and to move forward with patience. Things will happen and they will happen according to their time, but we do have those influences to think of. So it's important not to get anxious or think it's all falling apart or it's not going to happen. We have to consider how the energy affects and what that will be. And again, I want you to center into that root. So when you start getting that anxious, nervous feeling, I want you to focus back to that Empress root and think, okay, I know what could be. I know this could be tough. I know we could have problems with communications, but I'm strong in my patience and my love and my Empress root. And I think, if you establish that as your mode of thinking, then you won't fall prey to that anxiety. There's also the Messenger came up.
Okay.
And again, the Messenger, of course, is connected to communication information. So I think this is a really key component. And there's no limits on that Messenger because, as you can see here, you also have the High Priestess.
Okay.
This is really strong connected to the moon and intuition. So really trust your gut, trust what your gut is saying. And again, right now, there's a lot of moving parts. You're getting told one thing, something else is happening. It is 100% normal for this to be a very anxious time. It's also coinciding with an eclipse. It's also coinciding with the 13th. It's also coinciding with Mercury retrograde. So I want you to really be able to filter out what is happening, you're taking in all this information. I want you to try to really filter out what is important for you. What do you need to root down? What are you seeing that maybe you could put a pen in and hold, right? Like maybe let's get through Monday and put some other stuff that's causing anxiety on the back burner for next week and focus on the controllables that we can right now. Again, we have a lot of eclipse energy and that creates a lot of ripples in our life. So that will happen over the next 6 months. So again, regardless of this court case on Monday, you still might see effects percolating out from that. So I just want you to be really specific with your intentions and how you think about processing information. And again, just really rooting down. Good luck. I hope I was able to help you in some small way.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Thorne.
You're most welcome.
We've got Lisa and then Susie. Go ahead, Lisa.
Hey, Nicole.
Hi.
Okay, so it sounds like you've got a lot of priorities that you're trying to balance, and I feel you. It's got to be hard, especially because you have so many questions and so many challenges coming at you at the same time. It's got to be really difficult to focus on one over the other.
Yeah.
Okay, so piggybacking off of what Thorne had mentioned earlier, we're looking at communication as being one of the stronger elements that's coming out, especially with the reading that I have for you here today. Communication being, with Mercury in retrograde, and the lesson for Mercury in retrograde is the fact that Mercury and that retrograde wants us to go back and revisit some of the traumas and the challenges that we haven't addressed the first time around. And so basically it's just like, hey, you know what? We need to take another look at this. And it sounds like you're taking a look at a lot of things all at the same time. So take a deep breath, make sure you ground yourself and make sure that you've got, just that single point of priority that you really want to, as Thorne said, put a pin in it and really focus. And so my question to you at this time is, what do you want? If you could only have one of, and I'm just talking about the two houses right now, I'm not talking about your friend who's passed, but the two houses, what is the number one thing that you want from those two events? Think about that. And then what I'd like to do is I'd like to share with you the energy card I pulled for you is air. Of course, it's swords. And of course it is, the fact that it mirrors the quality of our mind that's present in our thoughts, our attitudes, and our beliefs. They can be
That's my
swift.
element too.
Yeah, mine too. They can be swift and driven, or they can clash and discriminate. So I pulled a clarifying card for you. And in the 5-cent tarot, it's the Knight of Needles, and really it's the Knight of Swords. And so, of course, the key words on this is that you're unstoppable, and you've got focus, and you've got courage. But also the shadow challenging side of that is impulsivity and aimlessness. And when you've got those two items that are juggling for your attention, choose one and really focus on how you can affect change with that one item. Because I feel you when it comes to too many things to think about and focus on. Does that make sense?
Yes. I mean, it's just, we've really had our hearts set on this house. He's been telling us for months that we were getting it. He just told us the other day to start packing and get ready to move in. I rolled my daughter in school, you know, thinking that this was all legit. And then less than 12 hours later, he just had a new plan. And it just sent us so far back.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
No.
it's tiring.
Yeah, it is. It can be just, you know, so much fatigue set in. My question to you is, did you sign any kind of contract?
We were supposed to sign the papers that day, the day that he called and said, no.
Did you ask him why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he figures he could get more money.
He wanted to get more money.
Oh.
And it was nothing personal.
And it was nothing personal. So, well, I'm sorry that happened to you. Now that you know why, I think it's a matter of then focusing your energy on grounding yourself and then figuring out exactly what you want. Because in the Knight of Swords, thank you, Lorelei, in the Knight of Swords, the knight has one thing on his mind, and it's running towards his success, or your success in this case. And really, it's a matter of making sure that you're not running to all of these, because it's kind of like the story of the fox who saw his mirror image with a bone in his mouth in the water. And so he thought he'd get two. And, you know, as humans, we're not that talented. We can't seem to grab both bones. So figure out what it is you want, and then work your daily goals to make sure that you can manifest that one thing that you really, really desire. I hope that's helped.
Yeah, thank you.
You bet.
Right, we got Susie next.
Thanks. So piggybacking on all these folks, they keep saying things. It's like, oh, that's in my notes. So first off, coming from a place of integrity, you've got to do that because it seems the friend was not. So I thank Lisa for asking if there was a contract involved. And now you know the why of why that house didn't happen. It's because he could get more money elsewhere. Okay, you know that. May he get exactly what he deserves. And now you get to move on. So releasing that, you can move on and garner your energies about you. You have a lot of energy swirling around you. So focusing it on what you want. So Thorne and Lisa have talked about bringing this in. Joshua did too, bringing your energy in and focusing on what you really want to do. I've drawn several cards and I'm one of those like, no, I don't like it. So I drew more cards and they're telling me the same thing. And the first one was a wake-up call or a tsunami. So this was a wake-up call for you to look and see and define what it is you want. On top of that, I also drew rebirth or spring equinox. So you will have an opportunity to start again. You're not starting from ground zero. Like it was said earlier, you know where you're at. You're building a foundation of refining what it is you truly, truly want. As far as giving you a definite about how the court case is going to end, that's asking for an outcome that's guaranteed. And because there are so many variables in there, we can't guarantee it. I can advise you to focus on your outcome. You said, this is what I want to have happen. Want is still one of those words that puts you in that limbo, a place of it's not it's not one of those definite words like, I have a house that. So making that list of the sort of house you want. And if this one that's in court comes through and meets all of those things, great, you've manifested it. The next one, error was what Lisa pulled. I also pulled wind or activation. This is speaking your truth and being honest with yourself about what it is you really want, what it is you, focusing on what is in your highest and best. Okay. There's also, what else did I get? I also pulled a reverse summer solstice or radiance. So you get to look inside, look deep within and see what it is that's going on within that may be preventing you from achieving your ultimate manifestation. So again, I'm gonna harken back to the pulling in your energy and focusing it. You have a laser focus when you choose to. Yeah, you're going to have to ask yourself a couple of hard questions and make some honest answers to yourself. Don't gloss over it, but be honest with yourself. And frankly, for me, that's the hardest thing, is to really say and be not brutal, but to be honest with myself. There was also, what was the other thing I got? The friend, he's out of pain, and I kind of see him standing here with his hands like, I don't know what you want. What do you want from me? You can even send him off to go help you find that house if you want. He's just like, I'm fine. Don't worry about me. You need to worry about you. There's also a full moon on Monday. You can use that to release those things that no longer serve you and set the intention to manifest that which you do. Thank you, Lorelei. And I think, yeah, that's what I've got
Any
for you,
last
Nicole.
points you want to throw in quickly? Go ahead. But
well, okay. So Thorne was talking about the Empress, and that's coming from a place of integrity. So continue to be honest with yourself and those around you. Here, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Susie. Y'all, we try to answer in like 2.5 minutes, which is so hard because there's so much we want to share. Go ahead, Henry.
Yes, indeed. Okay. Screen sharing. Oh, making sure I got them all. Okay, that's not all of them. Why am I not seeing all the others? Okay. Okay. I guess I is that.
You share what you got, right? Whatever wanted to come up to the front is what's there.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Stop the share. So, okay. I guess it's separate. So, about your friend, I immediately pulled a card, and
it's not up, right? We can't see.
Yeah. Show all windows. Look at that. Here you go. Okay. So what came up immediately was contentment. So I thought that was really wonderful. And I've been kind of in touch while all this has been going on. It's been a little bit difficult because there's a lot of chaos here, but it's not with your friend. So that is that part. And stop the share. And so the reading for you, it seems to be about the houses, but I think it is not just about the houses. I think it's almost like a metaphor for some more of life. So everything disappeared. I'm having some real technical difficulties today, and it's just me.
We
So
see
are
5
you able to
cards.
see the- Okay, that's wonderful. Okay, thank you for chiming in, Lorelei, and helping me out here. So what I'm seeing for you is there's kind of like a background of chaos, or of chaoticness, which is not the same thing as chaos. So polyrhythmic universe, what that means is that there's all different kinds of rhythms, all different kinds of things going on. And then if we allow that to, if we get kind of hooked on, oh, this rhythm is not good, but this rhythm would be better, then suddenly the whole thing starts being bumpy. It's like when you're on a horse, if you're going with the trot of the horse, you're kind of fine. But if you don't go into that rhythm, you get bumped. Does that make sense for you?
Yes.
So that's kind of where you're at right now, that it's not that it's true chaos. I mean, ultimately everything is true chaos, but not for your life. It's more that you're not getting into the rhythm because you're having an expectation about this. So using the seer card is, you have a third eye, you have third eye vision yourself, not just we do, you do too. So take it like from a higher self vantage point, take a look at what is happening so that you can get off of this idea that this is not, this shouldn't be happening. Because what's bumping is what's happened with this house and what's happening with the court case. That feels like jarring and jolting, yes? And so if you take a bird's eye, spiritual bird's eye view, you can see how it's interplay. It's, you know, it might not be what you want, but it's interplay, so you can get in flow with it. And when you get in flow with it, and you do this, you get to access your authority. Because what's happened is that this deal was a little soft because nothing had been in writing. And so you weren't in charge, you weren't in power. And so now you got to reclaim your power. And when you take that spiritual bird's eye view of what happened, rather than this guy did me wrong, which is the egoic way, the ego, you know, has its judgments. And so when you can get from that into your spiritual higher self viewpoint, then you automatically, as a result of that, reclaim your power. To help you with that, do some grounding. You probably have some grounding exercises you can do. And if not,
yes,
so many people who know how to do this, and the internet has 1 million hits, probably 12 million hits on that. So do some grounding to help you with all this work. And then finally and ultimately, use this mantra if you can. I invite you to, how can I apply love here? Because what you have right now is, why is this happening? But how did this happen? And did it something wrong to me? And all of that's true. Thank you. And ultimately, when you say, how can I apply love here? You reconnect to your life. Because when you're in judgment, you disconnect. You disconnect from your power, from yourself, from the world. You go into the mind space of judgment. So if you say, how can I apply love here? And that's how you can reconnect and activate the things, this whole journey that we were talking about. Thank you.
okay.
Stop sharing.
Thanks so much, Henry. All right. Anyone have anything else for Nicole? All right. Thanks so much, Nicole. I hope that
Thank you.
Yeah, lots of great things open and lots of flow happen with all this.
Yes.
All right. Next we have Catherine and Michelle. If you, yeah, okay, great. Great. Thanks, Michelle, for your response. Okay, so yeah, so Catherine, did you want to come up on the stage? It's up to you. Let me go see if you're. Yeah, we've got you next in line. Oh, is it Kat? Was that you that is in line? Okay, great. If you want to turn on your video, I'll bring you up.
Well, I'll stay in the background.
Okay, sure. You can stay in the background. Sure. Okay, I know you wrote a bit of your question. What?
Well, we've spent the last 2 years trying to get custody of my 3 grandchildren. We've had the youngest one since he was born. But now that we have custody, we're wanting to terminate parental rights and adopt them. Do you see that happening for me?
Okay, so let's see. So sorry, a little quickly. So you said you're going to be adopting your grandchildren later this year.
That's why I'm wanting to know. Do you see that happening?
Okay, do we see it happening? Okay. You had some other part of it when you initially wrote. Did you want to mention those things too? You don't have to.
Yes. I've been on several job interviews, but everybody has just said, well, we're going in a different direction. And I don't know what the block is or what is standing in my way of actually landing a job.
Yeah, all right. Well, I know one just a practical thing I can do. I look at resumes all the time and rewrite resumes for people. So you're welcome to send me your resume, and I'm happy to give you some feedback on your resume. So that's a not necessarily metaphysical, but a very grounded thing. So I'm putting my email in the chat right now. You're welcome to send me that, and I'm happy to make comments on that. It's a market where it's usually easier to get a job right now. So I'm thinking that something in the way you're presenting yourself, or something about the kinds of jobs you're applying for, something is funny. So I'm trying to feel what that is. Are you looking for the same kind of work that you've done before? Are you looking for something different?
No, it's the same kind of work. I mean, it's just admin work. I mean, nothing major. And I've worked for attorneys. I've worked for medical practices, and I've just never had this much trouble getting a position. I don't know if someone is giving me a bad reference. I don't know what's going on.
No, and that shouldn't be in the way right now either. How big of a city are you in?
It's a pretty large city.
Okay, great. And then the format of resumes has totally changed. I don't know, when is the last time you redid your resume?
I just redid my resume, but it is kind of long.
Yeah, so a standard now is it's like 1 or 2 pages at max. So some people cut off the years for their education. They cut off the older positions. Sometimes you summarize the older ones together. It's a balance of how many details you have. So it might be, how many pages is it?
3.
Yeah, so I'd find a way definitely to get it to 2. And but yeah, if you send it to me, I'm happy to give you some feedback.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I just have the sense that there are some how should I say? It seems like your energy is needing to get in flow with the way the world is flowing right now, and then you're easily going to fit in. It's going to be fine.
Okay. So now about the other part with the children, what do you see for that?
And and there's something, there seems like there's something for you to face with your children before that all happens. So I don't know which child these grandchildren are from, but there's something here in that relationship that, yeah.
Well, their mother is my daughter, and what happened was a substance abuse issue. And it's just been really difficult for her and I to have a relationship with her being with the person she's with the children's father.
Yeah, and yeah, it's a really hard time with so much going on for people right now. So I know, and then yeah, lots of people aren't stepping into the resources that they really need to support themselves with substance use disorder. Oh yeah, it's hard. I'll let Susie go ahead and answer and see what else comes through about this.
Hey, with the adoption thing, because it's within the family, it's going to be your job to be pretty straightforward in what's going on. It's going to continue to strain your daughter's relationship, but that's her journey. Okay, I can't tell you because that's not my. I don't know if it's going to work out one way or the other. I can tell you what path to take so you can work best to achieve your outcome, but you need to gather up the information that's relevant, that's salient to all of this, and to show why this is in the best interest of the children. Yes, you're going to get pushback from it. That's to be expected. Because that's a shift. It is, I pulled an interesting card, the Ancestral card. This is a generational thing here. So you are looking at, what am I seeing? It feels like it's off on a paternal line where that family has to stay with family. It's got to stay in the generations thing. It's got to be this straight line. There's this really tight-fisted, very inflexible path that has been following here, and you are breaking that line, that tradition. But this is coming from a place of love. of caring for the children, and you are breaking tradition. The other card I pulled was breach or whale. And for me, usually that's about joy, but you are certainly breaking with whatever tradition is there. And if that's what you need to do to get these children safe, then do what you need to get there. About the job, I feel that there is something out there for you. But I don't, I'm not really sure what that block is. Are your tech skills up to snuff? I mean, because I'm going to sound like a geezer when I say, oh, those young kids know how to work those Instagrams and know how to do all that, you know. But do you have that office skill? Thank you, Henry. I appreciate it. I can just hear your laugh. But that's the important part, is understanding that you are up to snuff on the tech aspect. And that includes being able to reach out. Your energy feels very positive and willing to roll up your sleeves and do the work, and that will be to your benefit, not only for finding a job, but for getting your grandchildren safe.
Right.
And I think that's the extent of my notes. So good luck to you, and thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Susie. And let's see. So next we're going to have, I think we have Lisa and then Joshua, and I know Thorne's going to jump in here somewhere. And I want to comment too, like someone just wrote in the chat, this is supposed to be a panel on witchcraft and alchemy. So like we bring all of our gifts that we have to answer people's questions. We never know what people are going to ask. And so it unfolds the way it unfolds. Yeah, so let's see. So let's keep going on with answering the question. And thank you, those that contributed to paying for Michelle. Michelle is now in line. All right, let's see. So Lisa, Joshua, and then Henry.
Hey, Catherine. Good evening, and thank you for being with us here tonight on Friday the 13th. How are you tonight?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I have no fear of Friday the 13th. It's been a good day for me before.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love Friday the 13th as well. So I pulled a couple of cards for you regarding your job situation. And the one I pulled from my Oracle deck is air. And of course, we know air is all about communications and of course, logic and truth. And so what I want to kind of reframe for you is when you're asking about the job and why things aren't happening for you, I just kind of want to piggyback on what Laureli was saying earlier. And that is to, redesign your resume so that it speaks to your potential employers. So for instance, because I'm in business, I teach entrepreneurs how to talk about their products and their services. And so for you, it's really no different. And it's really a matter of sharing with your potential employers what benefit you bring to them. Just because you have these services and tools at hand, do you know how to use them? And if you do know how to use them, share the different projects that you worked on and how they became a success because you worked on them. And when you show the benefit of working with you, then your potential employers were going to go, okay, great. It's a no-brainer. Let's hire you. Another thing I might add is, are you on LinkedIn?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? Am I what now?
Are you on LinkedIn?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. When was the last time you refreshed your profile on LinkedIn?
Just recently, because of having all the issues, I was like, I'm trying everything I can think of now.
Okay, no, that's great. Now, one step further, have you considered contacting potential employers or people in that same market for informational interviews or coffee dates?
Yes, I've actually talked to a few of them, and I have a few more interviews lined up that contacted me through LinkedIn. So
that's great. That's fantastic. That's really good news. Keep it up. Even if nothing pans out with the jobs, keep going on those informational coffee dates. They usually last no more than 15 minutes. Be brief and be concise about the energy that you bring, as well as the outcome that you want. And then also ask if they know of anybody who's looking to, hire somebody with your capacity. Another thing is to make sure you don't bring your personal baggage with you on the interview as well. You know, please don't get into, I'm trying to, adopt my kids and I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. As Susie mentioned earlier, trying is in that limbo state that doesn't get you anywhere. Plus, it doesn't bode well for you on an interview. And I'm not saying that you do this, but I just kind of want to reassure you not to. Otherwise, they can go, oh, she's full of emotional baggage and we don't want that. So does that make sense?
It does. And I try to keep my personal life outside of any work or out of the professional setting anyway.
Okay, well, that's terrific. That's terrific. And just lastly, just to close, I pulled another Oracle card for you. And this is from the Wisdom of the Oracle. I'm sorry. And it's called A Leg Up. And going back to Lorelai's original position today about having her review your resume, the leg up is about, because you've gone through all of this alone, now it's time to ask for help. So don't be afraid to ask for help, okay? That makes sense?
It does.
All right, awesome. Best of luck to you.
The staffing agency for help. So.
That's great. Yeah. And Lorelei and anybody else in these specialized positions to help you get reemployed again. I hope that's helpful to you.
Yes, it is.
Great. And I just wrote you an email too, so you can easily send me your resume when you're done.
All right, thank you so
when
much.
you're done with the event. Okay, let's see.
Good luck, Catherine.
Thank you so much.
And Thorne, I just want to check in if Thorne's ready to jump in, and we've got Joshua and Henry online. Let me see, someone just wrote. Oh yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, Thorne was just saying, yeah, community support and resources shared are great, especially right now. All right, well, let's see. So let's go ahead with Joshua and Henry.
Hi, so I pulled a few cards and we'll just get right into it. The past energy that I see you connected to is the King of Cups. So this is all about emotional sovereignty. You've done the work, you've done your own internal processes. But one part that has, at least that I'm seeing, that has been left out has been your own internal child and what they want your life to look like. So I'm seeing that you've kind of come to this point where you put in the work, you've done the jobs, you've done the, the adult thing, and your inner child is kind of like, well, where's the play? Where's the fun? When can we stop doing that? So there's this kind of like inner child throwing a tantrum that's like, wait, no, I thought we were done. I don't want to do the admin, blah, 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 boring. And so I think really now you're being called to find a way to bring play, bring fun, bring like childish excitement into your day-to-day job, work, whatever that structure looks like, because that's what I'm seeing as the part that's holding you back, is this little girl who's like, I don't want to work a job anymore. That's stinky. And so finding ways, maybe it's a different type of job, maybe it's an environment that is more fun, that is more playful. And so if you're not finding positions that fit, that might be a good thing, that might be something where it wouldn't be a good fit in the long term anyways. And so start using your own discernment, and shift that narrative of, well, it's not that like I'm not a good fit for them, it's that they're not a good fit for me, that it needs to be fun, it needs to be playful, it needs to be somewhere where I can let my hair down and really enjoy the process. Because as you're shifting into these present energies, it's all about really going internal and seeing like, what does my inner child want a job to look like? Probably doesn't want a job in general, but if that's something that you need to do, what does that look like? What is the contract and the deals that you can make with yourself before you then go into those interviews, those job environments? Because you might go into those interviews and then be like, oh wait, no, this isn't a good fit. I need to leave because I can already feel that my inner child's not going to be happy here. And then as you move forward into the future and are reconnecting, and I'm not seeing a definite yes or no with adopting. it's feeling more like a yes. And as you continue to show up, as you continue to stand in that emotional sovereignty, I think your possibilities and potential are just going to get bigger and bigger. But the thing that I want to just bring up and acknowledge that it's going to be important to be careful about is to not close yourself off emotionally to potential connections moving forward, whether that is with your daughter or her partner who you don't like right now. That maybe it's saying no for now, but leaving the possibility for things to change and things to open up, so that you're not like moving forward into this adoption with, you know, never again will they be able to see their parents, or never again will they be able to have a relationship. So that you're not making really intense decisions forever. You're making decisions for right now that are going to serve you and your family.
You know, I do want the children to have a relationship with their mom when she's better.
Right.
But they don't care to have a relationship with their father. He's there's more going on than just substance abuse there.
Sure.
It's a lot of mental health issues as well. And they've been through quite a bit with him. They've used, how do I say, extreme Christianity to kind of torment these children.
Sure. Yeah, weaponized it.
Yes, demons in their toys, burning toys in front. I mean, it was just a bunch, and it wasn't just the parents; it was also the grandmother on the other side. So,
yeah, and so I just see your role right now. Your job is to just embody more of your own inner child, so that you have this opportunity to connect with these children as they're in their inner child's divine embodiment right now. And so it's just that reflection of like, how can I bring more of the fun, more of the play of what you want to do, not even necessarily what they want to do, so that there's that resonance, so that there's that connection. And I think you're doing it, and this is just confirmation to keep on that path.
That resonates really well, because that's what I keep saying is like, I want them to have the best normal childhood ever, you know. I want them to have the imagination. I want them to, you know, to have everything that they wasn't allowed to have. So you really,
and
that
you
really does
too. Yeah, and you can learn from them in that same way.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Best of luck, and thank you so much for opening up today.
Thank you.
I think Joshua Henry's next.
All right. So I didn't get any sense that with the job that you're doing anything wrong. I'm resonating with a lot of what Joshua is saying. You're not doing anything wrong. The job that you want, you haven't asked for it. So maybe that's where you can go, where you can say, okay, let me go for the job I really want. So with regard to the job, this is the card that I pulled.
Okay.
So just like, you know, like you might feel hindered or hampered or thwarted in some way, just, you know, have the determination to have it go your way. So when you're coming in, it's not about how can I be likable to them and how can I hope they'll take me. Like the opposite view, I'm a gift to you. And you are, if you decide to be. So like that, that's the one for the job, just this kind of staying focused. And like Joshua was saying, you know, like going for what you actually want, not for what you think you can get or for what you think somebody else thinks you deserve or are capable of. Does that resonate?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So for the, okay, there was a third card. So I'm going to go for the second card. So let me stop this share here for a second so I can share the second card. You know, I'll share the second and third. No. Okay, so this is about the kids, the grandkids. I cannot even believe when that card popped out. I'm like, no way. So that's you and the grandkids. So I don't, it doesn't necessarily say that you're going to be adopting them, but might as well be that the kids are with you. Are they with you now?
Yes, I do have custody of them.
Yeah.
So, like I said, we want
So-
to terminate parental rights and adopt them fully.
Yeah, I totally get that. And that's a pretty big, tall order. I'm familiar with this kind of thing. Some of my clients have gone through this, and it's a really big thing. So determination also, not just for the job, but also for this thing, staying focused and staying in charge. Like rather than going, are they going to let me? It's more like, I am capable, and here's how I'm demonstrating that. So that's the determination, bringing that card in. But I feel like if we could get as close to a yes as we could, this card would be it, where it's like you with a child that's obviously from a younger generation. And then this card, you'll have to tell me why this card came out, because I don't know. I mean, I have some, actually I do know. My God, I was so being disingenuous there for a moment. But I think the deal is that you're supposed to figure it out, and I'm not supposed to tell you. That's all it is. Okay, you see this card?
What is that?
Should I try and make it larger? Is it larger now?
That's great. We can see it.
Okay, good.
So Catherine, yeah.
What is the lesson from this card? What's the message from this card?
Hold on. It's I can really barely see it. It's so small.
Oh, are you on your phone? Is that
Yes,
right?
I am.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, it says playful, and it's this person throwing their head back, laughing their butt off. And it's very red and very bright and very lively. And it's just this person is like laughing with abandon. It's like not because somebody said something funny necessarily, but because they have a certain lightness to them. Why are you getting this card? Your higher self knows. What is it saying? Why you're getting this card?
Maybe it's saying that I need to be a little more carefree.
Yeah, there you
all the
go.
time.
Exactly. So can you see what that'll do for you with regard to the adoption, with regard to the job, and with regard to your everyday life?
Yes, absolutely.
So I think that's the big message here. So determination, probably a yes on the adoption, or certainly something in your favor. And with all this, it can get heavy and can get overly serious. And so introduce playfulness. See, now I can kind of bring it back home because you already used the word carefree. That's going to be your, like put this on a magnet on your refrigerator. How can I be where and how can I be carefree today?
Just take things a little bit more, just let things go, basically, and be a little more, laugh a lot more.
Yeah, like not letting it go in terms of not working on it, but there's a heaviness, especially the thing with the grandchildren and with revoking the parental rights. That's very heavy. I mean, that you've gotten to this point, I can only imagine what it took. So that can make you very heavy. And so bringing that playfulness back in, especially with the grandkids, that's your access. Playful. Okay, I should say, I could tell it was coming up. So that's it. All right. So all the best to you.
And Thorne shared in the chat too, red is the color of root chakra, which feeds joy and pleasure, and how that can be channeled into grounding and other threads of current experience for shifting and healing, leveling up creativity, etc.
Awesome.
Great. Thank you so much, Catherine.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to send the resume to you.
Great. All right. So then we got Raven Jules next. Let's bring Raven Jules up. And practitioners, we've got 2 more questions after Raven Jules. So we got to keep going through here. All right. Raven Jules, what is your question? Get you unmuted. I'm asking you to unmute, see if that. Okay, great. We should be able to hear you now. Although we can't hear you though. Let's try a different version of your microphone. Something's going on. Maybe unplug your earphones and put them back in. But
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yay! Sure. Okay. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi. Okay. So I found you all a couple months ago, and I was asking questions because I was coming from a very strict Christian background. I married into a Christian family, and I myself was for a couple decades, actually. But when I was younger, is when I started practicing witchcraft and just learning more about kind of alternative things. I kind of fell into the practice people around me were doing. And so I thought, oh, Christianity, all right, as acceptable. People still talk to me, not anything taboo. But just recently, I just have been having this gut feeling like this is something I need to be into. This is something that just really resonates in me. And I've just been having this thirst for knowledge. So anyway, last time I asked a question about kind of coming out to my family out of the broom closet, because my husband is definitely Christian. And I told him great about it. He loves me so much, and kind of just, kind of whatever that is, it is. But the witchcraft topic led me to you ladies tonight and gentlemen, because I kind of would like any kind of tips or advice you have on somebody just starting off in the Wiccan path, resources, things like that. And then on a personal note, especially Joshua, Lisa. Anyway, just the past life thing really interests me. Do you have anything on past lives, or if I have a history of witchiness?
Okay, great questions. And let's see, some of it was cutting off, but I think I got all of it.
Okay.
And I want to say, just in terms of body psychology, when you you said, I'm trying to remember the phrase, you said something about they all are still talking to me. You rubbed like right here, and so when we rub here, this is part of how expression comes out of us. And so when we're blocking here, it's that we're thinking things that we're not saying. And so that's exactly what you're doing. Of you're speaking, you're not speaking, you're not fully speaking, and they're talking to you, and like there may be something that you want or don't want in the way they're actually interacting with you. And so it's you blocking. So I want to let you know, just in terms of your body giving you messages and things like that. And yeah. So congratulations on the ways you've been speaking up and stepping up, and being around community is so great, being in events like this. And there are tons of Facebook groups for witches. I know like in Washington, they're like 3 or 4, in Oregon, they're like 3 or 4, like more than that. And like there's tons of community all over the place. So that's great. All right, so let's pass this on. And then, okay, let's see. So we've got Joshua and then Thorne and then Susy in line. Go ahead, Joshua. By the way, Susy does past lives too, everyone. So we got a couple of different people with past lives here. So, and then whoever else does this too. All right, great, Joshua. Let's get you unmuted. And remember, just keep it to 2.5 minutes. So we got to go quick. Unmuted, yeah.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, hello. So first I want to come out. Congratulations that you've come to this point where you're like learning how to accept all the different multidimensional parts of yourself. So that's so amazing. Definitely with the coming out of the broom closet, I just want you to make sure that like the people that you are coming out to, it's safe to do so first and foremost, that like you will be physically safe, emotionally safe as well. And that it's going to be something that will further your relationship, further connection, and not something that's going to potentially traumatize you or hurt you, first off the bat. And so the tips I always like to give like newcomers, people coming to whatever their practice is, especially with more of like a Wicca witchcraft focus, is the plant path and a lot of green path books. Because that's just really learning how to attune your body as an antenna for working with the natural world around you. I think that is super important. And a lot of us have just become desensitized or just not fully in our bodies. So a lot of the magic, a lot of the awareness that is easily accessible to us there has just been disconnected. So that's the first thing I would recommend is some of those plant paths. Even if you don't specifically want to work with plant medicine, there's just a lot of information that's available to us through those different resources. I pulled a couple cards for you. And so what I'm seeing, I know you were asking about specifically past life and maybe potentially what you're working through or how past life might be influencing your practice now. So what I'm seeing is this past life energy of the soulmate card. So this is telling me that oftentimes, not necessarily that you're here specifically to be with one specific person, but that there's soul families that you're kind of working in tandem with, that there's one other spirit, that you guys have done this a lot. You come in together as like wake up calls. So this is going to be the person who kind of like brings you back online after times of being asleep or reconnects after long times of being disconnected. So to really trust in this as like, okay, whatever these connections are, like, what are they trying to get me to see? What are they trying to get me to pay attention to? And then just look into that deeper. So, and this is something that'll come up with past lives of this is someone you recognize. This is someone you've seen before. This is a deeper soul bond. As we go into the present energies that you're working with the life on earth card, this is all about enjoying being physical. There's a lot of tendency within spiritual communities to want to get out of being in your body or ascend to whatever's next. And so really grounding in, connecting to the earth, I think is going to be super important as part of your practice, is just being here now and being as deeply connected to the earth as you can within this process. And then moving on to those future energies,
So Josh, we're out of time, so if you could just finish up quickly, please.
Yes. So I really see you moving into doing a lot of past life work yourself. So of course, if you want to work with me or the other past life workers here, I think that'd be awesome. But really starting to tap into that awareness yourself, maybe with some meditations or something to start out with. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Joshua. All right, we've got Thorne next.
Hello. Hello. So thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing. And first, I want to welcome you into the, coming out of the broom closet. That's excellent. That you're coming out, and that's fantastic. And we see that. So I drew a few cards for you here, and I was looking over them. It's beautiful. It's a perfect match. So the first card is the moon. So really, the moon is related with, inner intuition, emotions, being in your world, where your thoughts, your feelings, how they're interconnected with the world. And really you coming out of the broom closet is a huge decision. So really, honestly, be proud of yourself and really celebrate that within yourself. It's very important. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is really evaluating, again, your inner intuition and what steps do you need to take now on your journey. So really, this is a new path for you. And really, I get it. I totally get it. Many years ago, I came out of the closet, the broom closet as well. Looking back, honestly, it's just great. So much has happened since. But the point is, one thing I recommend is really kind of like Joshua said, really focusing on the natural world, plant path, flowers, anything in your environment, really connecting and developing your relationship with those things. What feels right for you, maybe what doesn't feel so right, and really tapping into that energy. Because once you become more confident in those skills, then you can also work with people as well. And it's the same idea with what's going on here, and just really filtering that as well. And really, it's an important skill to know, and you will acquire that over time. But really, that will, and your confidence will change in that regard over time. Just trust yourself is really the key. The next card is Temperance. Really, I love this specific card because it's really about boundaries and, knowing the balance of it, in like your inner workings and external things. So really, if you feel content and full with your energy and content with your energy just around people and plants, really thinking, where do I feel knowing and where you're feeling where you're empty. So you think, okay, I'm content or I'm feeling empty in certain regards, and having that balance with boundaries, with feeling empty and feeling full as well. And really, again, right now is Mercury retrograde, the full moon, and all these inner workings, really all the energy is happening right now. So it's really important to take care of yourself first. And really, taking care of yourself is really important to remember. That's the main thing. The third card is the teacher. So with the teacher, it's really great to make those connections within the community and meet a variety of people, friends, new friends, old friends, and making those connections and really learning about all those resources and sharing that information. And really, in the beginning, you are like your first teacher, really yourself. You are absolutely your first teacher. You're always learning from yourself. You know the way you learn best. And so if you feel something is a little bit off, trust that instinct and trust yourself. And the other card that I drew here. So you already have all the tools ready necessary. You already have those within you. Even if you feel unsure, have to realize that is inside of you. And just, again, trust yourself is really my point. And, hopefully that helps, and feel free to share with any of us, connect with any of us in the community. We're all here for you.
Oh,
absolutely. So good luck on your journey.
thank you. Thank you so much. I just want to say something real quick with the moon. The black moon that we had about 2 weeks ago, I actually did my dedication ritual. And so it really increased kind of the passion that so the moon, that was
Great. All right. Let's see. So we've got Susie and Henry on the line.
I have that same connection with the moon, so I'm happy that, I'm always ready to talk about it. No pressure, but I'm always ready to connect on that.
Great. All right, Susie and then Henry.
Cool. Hey, Raven Jules. I'm going to try and get all of this put into one thing. I left the Catholic Church because it was too limited to me. And that's what I find about this witchcraft, the paganism path, is that it is so expansive. It is connected with the earth. So following all the different aspects of the earth can give you different paths to follow. So whether you follow the moon or the plants, or the seasons, whatever, it's about getting in touch with the earth. So I encourage you to play, to explore the possibilities. And then it's going to go beyond just the earth. That's how I got involved with tarot and with looking at past lives. So I get to segue ever so gently into seeing some past lives for you. You have, you and those around you have been tumbling around time and space, exploring different aspects of so many different concepts. So focusing specifically on the spirituality thing, yes, you've had those lifetimes as a nun in an abbey. I think she was in France. She might have even been connected with Mary Magdalene and that sort of thing. There was also a time in the 1600s as part of the Inquisition, which is that darker side of Christianity. So there's that part, but you've also had these lifetimes because to have just one lifetime exploring one concept is just so limiting, but you have had those lifetimes in which you were a young girl in the woods picking out the mushrooms and supporting your grandmother. I made a note about another one too. I'm feeling that there was one in like the Eastern European area, what we now know as Chechnya. So there was that Eastern European Baba Yaga aspect to you, but it's not limited to those. One of the paths you can take in exploring your own past lives, yes, is through meditation. Look at the things you love and that you have a connection to, that you're like, where did that come from? So, for me, Renoir is the painter that I adore most. And it turns out I spent time in that time frame. I was one of his models, if you will, and that sort of thing. Or you look at those things that you absolutely cannot tolerate, try to figure that out. I don't get along with my sister-in-law because we've had those lifetimes where I was accused and at her word and did that whole burning thing. So as a witch, we've all been burned. But now we get to go and live our lives fully and in our power. I am so excited for you to be embarking on this. The dedication is brilliant, and it's nothing like having that ritual to reinforce what you are doing, because every time you do a ritual, you're shifting the energy just a little bit more. And it's not limited to the candles and the cloak and all that. This is the strongest finger, the most powerful finger in the world is yours, as you are directing your energy to follow and establish your path. So good luck, have fun, and we love you here.
Thank you.
Thank you. We got that. Susie's fitting it in 3 minutes and 12 seconds. All right, next we have Henry and then Lisa.
Okay, so you know what? I'm going to make it really quick. I made notes, so I'm going to read them rather than be all personal with you because our time is really winding down. So the first thing to do is choose a path for yourself. So obviously that's reading up, studying. There's many different kinds of witches. Choose a path. Also, you don't owe anyone an explanation. So the coming out, you might feel like you have to say like, and it's because of this, and this is what it means to me, et cetera, et cetera. And that diffuses your power and you don't have to do it. You can just say, I'm this kind of a witch and the story. And then if people have questions, you can choose what you want to answer. You're not there to educate. You're not there to make it okay and comfortable for other people. That doesn't mean you should do things to make it uncomfortable. But it's not your job to make it comfortable for other people, because you're going to get into an energetic thing that's actually going to take your power away, make you feel a little crappy. I recommend that you journal about Christianity and what about witchcraft makes you uncomfortable. The journaling so that you can look deeper, because you know, you've come out, so you probably have already resolved some of these things for yourself, but maybe not on every level. So if you do some journaling, what about it makes me uncomfortable still? Because after all, from Christianity, that's the devil's work. So that's a very heavy and serious accusation. We can laugh about it, and sometimes I do too, but it's pretty heavy and hardcore. In Germany, which is where I'm from, 7,000 women and a few men were burned for being witches in between 1620 and 1650 or something like. So that's very serious. That's my epigenetics. So check out what your heritage is and look at the countries and see what the persecution was, because like in Spain, hardly anybody got killed, but Germany was really hardcore. They were majorly into burning these women. And so check out epigenetically what has been, what's come forward. Start to develop a ritual. So if you don't already have an altar, get an altar going so you can start developing a ritual, and the evolution of that, you know, happens as you grow into it. Just know that witchcraft is not a casual path. You open into other domains that you don't know yet exist, or that you might not even imagine exist. So it's very important to have psychic protection, not as a, oh, I'm in danger, I got to guard myself, but psychic protection as in making it part of your ritual to create a sacred, safe space to do your work in. So your focus is on sacred, safe space, not on what am I protecting myself from, because then you give that power. So you don't want to do that. And you want to develop, and this is my last thing, you want to develop a cleansing ritual. When you do witchcraft or of any kind, spells, whatever, when you do that, you want to afterwards do a cleansing ritual so things don't start attaching to you, because when they attach to you, that makes life heavier for you, that makes your whole aura, your body, everything gets heavier. Plus, and that's even more important, you start passing that on to other people that you work with, and that's, you know, not fair to them. So very important. It's like a doctor who washes their hands after they've seen a surgeon. They wash their hands after they've seen a client. You want to do the same thing psychically. I hope that helps.
Yes, that makes sense. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Henry. And I put in the chat too, our panel on Sunday that we just added, Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific time, is on psychic protection, and Henry's going to be on that too. So yeah, come back on Sunday. All right, we've got Lisa ready to go.
Hey, Raven, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, it was a couple of years ago when I came out of the spiritual broom closet as well. And I've only told a few people, and of course, this entire community knows me. So, you know, yay me. But a couple of things I want to piggyback off of what everyone else has said, and that is when I started out with just 2 tools, my intuition, which is why I came out, and then also tarot. I felt like I wanted to use tarot as a tool to help bridge the communication between, those on the other side of the veil and myself. And so I use tarot as an effective tool for communication. And let's see. Yeah, I would double, triple, quadruple the grounding and shielding, ground and shield every day, every single morning. And then also maintain your aura, make sure that's clean and also free of holes. And I'm sure if you join the panel on Sunday, they will tell you all about that as well. Remember to play and then focus on a few of those modalities to get really good and then branch out a little bit more. But yeah, cleanse your body, cleanse your home. There are a lot of cleansing options out there. I take showers mainly. Most of the rituals include baths, but I take showers and I'll have a bowl of salt in my shower. And when I get off groups like this, I will go take a shower and just do a nice quick salt scrub to remove any residual energy I might have picked up from, being in this community all at once, because there's a lot of energy. But yeah, get to know your energy too. That's one of the things that Susy recommended for me many, many moons ago. Get to know your energy. And speaking of moons, I love talking about moons too. And when I first came out and learning tarot, I created tarot spreadsheets so that I could record and retain everything that I learned. So I've got digital books that you can print and maintain your readings. So it's a moon phase journal that's got integrated tarot spreads, as well as spell sheets and rituals, along with an interactive calendar and all kinds of wonderful goodness to keep you on track as your digital grimoire. Or you can print out, like I said, and put it into your grimoire. But yeah, congratulations. Oh, excellent. Excellent. Yeah, that's fabulous. So welcome and enjoy your new lifestyle.
All right. Anyone have anything else quick for Raven Jules before we move on to the next question? Our next person in line just got back in the room. Thank you so much, Raven Jules. Exciting to have you part of the community, the broader community of all of us. Very, very exciting. All right. Okay, so let's see. So Tracy D, you just got back. You are next. Oh, there you are. Let's get you up here. And then practitioners, if you can plan to stay a tiny bit late. We've got Michelle's question afterwards. That's our last question for today. And then also, I think last I looked, let's check again. We have, oh gosh, we've had more like 12 people now fill out the feedback form. I'll put it in the chat again too. If you are willing to give us feedback, give us your email, we'll be able to be in touch with you about all the things we offer, and we'll put you into a drawing for a free 30-minute session with one of us of your choice. We appreciate that very much. Great, a few of us are staying. Tracy, what is your question? Let's get you unmuted. Oh, we still can't hear you. I changed one of my settings in Zoom today and made that a little difficult. Well, maybe Tracy's finishing up a call or something.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I cannot hear you because I have my speakers turned down. So I'm going to go onto the phone. I'm sorry, it was all set up and then something, technology happened. But I will get onto my speaker on my phone. My question, how can I bring people to the collective? I feel that I don't have all the information I need to go forward. I've done a lot of personal growth, and I've come to a place where my career is almost destroyed. Do I have the energy to bring it back? I've been divorced a few years ago. I had a couple rough relationships since. I think I met my twin flame. I've had, I have a dog who wants to go outside. I counsel my friends. I'm the one they call. They want to know. I've had past life readings that tell me I've been either a shaman or a white witch all my life, all my lives. I've felt intuitive as long as I can remember. I'm going to let him out. I'm still talking. One of the greatest things about this where I am tonight is the remembrance of why I had a 4-year-old child memory sitting in my rocking chair, saying to myself over and over again, I am Tracy, I'm 4 years old, I just moved to Clackamas. That memory's been with me forever, but the memory that came to me was why I remembered that. And it just shook me to my core. I remember it because I didn't want to forget. I didn't want to forget what I knew I was already forgetting. I knew I was forgetting my past. And I didn't want to. I haven't heard anybody have said anything. I'm being admitted.
Recording in progress.
Okay, I think I'm here. Anyway, my career is basically falling apart.
You can hear us now, right?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, I think we got the gist of your question. We can't see you anymore. Did you want to come in on your phone, or I saw your phone entered the room? How should we, or did you want to come back in front of the camera again?
It should be.
Okay, yeah.
Hi.
Are you ready for us to start answering?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I know as other people are getting in line, I felt grief in you earlier. So what you shared too now about the memories, I didn't quite get all of it, but it makes a lot of sense too, tying in with the grief. And I feel so much grief and like exhaustion in your body. And it just seems like now maybe is the time to shift career paths. You know that you have gifts and people keep coming to you. And like there'll be all kinds of new people for you to connect with, but it seems like maybe this is a time to shift and to head into that direction of sharing your work with people. I don't know what work you were doing before, but just I'm imagining that you have a lot of gifts for working with people and particularly helping people do grieving and going into really deep, tough stuff and being with those feelings and finding ways to reemerge.
I was traveling in the world.
Yeah, you turn off sound on one of the devices. You need sound on your phone to hear us. I don't know if you have the microphone on in your phone too, but if you turn off the sound on your computer, then you can still see us.
Does that help?
Yeah, I don't think you're echoing now.
I think I can do this.
You can turn off audio on your computer. I can show you. If just go to where the mute button is, there's a little caret. Click the caret, and second from the bottom, I think it says to leave audio, leave computer audio.
I see mute.
Although I don't know which microphone you're using though, so this is tricky. Nope, we can't hear you now. I guess it totally turned off. Can you speak into your phone and see if we can hear you? Like unmute your phone. Let me go find your phone. I'm asking you to unmute your phone.
Okay, I'm so
Great.
sorry.
That's all right.
You got me?
Yeah, just what work were you doing before that?
I'm an artist, but I run an organization that hires the finest artists in the world. Was traveling the world, living the dream before COVID. But you know, service industry, so people, nobody did. I mean, we all shut down, hotels, catering, any kind of live, you know. And I converted and did Zooms and that kind of thing, but it's just not enough now. It's all changed.
Yeah, and I wanted to make space for others to come in and answer. It just seems like the call is for you to travel new worlds, not the worlds you were before, not this earth, not the different countries, but it's to travel new energetic worlds and to be with people and new energies in new ways.
You know what? Thank you so much, Laureli. I hope I said that right. But
yeah, you did. It's Lorelei. Yeah.
Lorelei.
So it's to travel the world in new ways, right? You built the muscles for traveling the world as preparation for you. I didn't hear enough of what happened when you're 4, but yeah, I have really bad nightmares from when I was 4. And it was only later in my adult life that I was able to recognize what must be the trauma that I experienced when I was little, you know, and put together the pieces of so much other trauma that I experienced. Like our beings only let us connect it when we're ready to be with it, and getting support for being with it is really important. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And it's our wounding that is part of what helps us be able to work with other people and support other people. Hey, Joshua's ready. Yeah, go ahead, Joshua.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So I just wanted to first and foremost come on. I heard you say that you are always the person who all your friends come to for emotional support to lean on. And I really want you to pinpoint on who that is for you, because oftentimes, I mean, people who do the work that we do or who have gone through intense trauma, they become so used to being that person for others and think that we're either not deserving of it on our own, or that we just don't need it because of how strong we are and how strong we've had to be. So I think right now it would be really helpful. And I applaud you for coming on today and doing that, asking for help, asking for advice and guidance. But see who in your personal circle, who in your life now, it's safe for you to ask for support and help from, so that you don't feel like you're alone, because that's a big part of this is what is connection, what is being supported even look like and even feel like for you, and really hone in on that as you go through this transition. So I pulled a couple cards for you. Past energy of the 10 of Swords. So this is telling me that this transition you're going through is more like a literal death. And I think it's going to be important for you to grieve your old life, grieve who you were, because there's a lot of this stored in your body that's like, oh, well, maybe, you know, other people have had it worse, so I don't have a right to grieve my life and who I was. And I think it's going to be really powerful for you to give yourself permission to feel that, feel the pain, feel what you've gone through, and honor it through some sort of release, honor it through some sort of grieving process. And this present energy right now of the reversed 8 of Cups. And so this is telling me that there's a lot of emotional relationships that you have that you're holding on to. And maybe it's time to start walking away from some of those places where you're giving more than you're getting. So those friends who are always calling you, asking for help, but aren't ever calling you and asking how you're doing, taking another look at, is this a relationship that's serving me? Are these people who are actually helping me in what I'm going through, not just expecting that from me? And then moving forward into this future of the King of Wands, really coming into what is it that you want to do? What is the career that you want to be doing? What is filling up your cup and making, and you had said something that really stuck to me as like, my career collapsed and I don't know if I have the energy to rebuild it. And if you're having to ask yourself the question, then the energy is not limitless. It's not abundant. If you're having to force it, what is it that just naturally you're like, I could do this forever and never get tired of it? That's where you should be going. That's where you should be looking towards, not like, this is a chore that I feel the need to scrape up energy to do. It's what just naturally will explode with passion, with life, with joy.
It was. It was. It was
And so,
that.
and
It
so
was
it feels
that.
like Lorelei has said that grief that's there, honor that grief and let yourself really process that, because it's a death. It's a death that you've gone through. And until you can really fully feel that, new life can't be born from it because it's still so full of that heaviness. So thank you so much, Tracy. I'm going to let these other wonderful practitioners speak, but best of luck in your journey.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Joshua. And yeah, Tracy, thanks for feeling while you're with us. It's Susie and Lisa.
The cards I pulled, Tracy, were very much in alignment with what Joshua was saying. I understand it is so tough to feel the feelings all on your own. You have this community here. Any of us, I'm sure even in the audience, are happy to, are willing to hold this space for you. It is this grief of a previous life that you've lost that is holding you back. And it is like a great big river that is taking you through the rapids. And then sometimes you run aground, and other times there's that eddy when you just don't know what's going on next. And it is that grief to help you. I feel that 4-year-old can help you. She sat there and she reminded herself, this is who I am, and this is who I am going to be. And working with her, I feel, so that you can, the way I'm seeing it is that you are bringing her forward and saying, I know you. I have not forgotten you, and I bring you into my heart, into my space, so that we can grow again together. So this inner child work, man, it can be really tough.
It is really hard. And I want that feeling again. And I want others to have it. It's remembrance of everything.
Yeah, you're going to remember stuff that you may not be happy remembering, but it is part of her story. And you just said it's okay. So remember those things and remind her that she is safe with you, because she is an extension of you in a way. So as you are bringing her into you and reminding her that she has not been forgotten, that she is you, and look where you've been, share your experiences with her. Where you've been, I can see her just looking at you wide-eyed at all the places you've been, at all this art. You can teach her about your art, and then you integrate her into your heart so that you can better serve others, but you've got to serve yourself first.
I don't think so. I think it's the other way. I think I must serve others to feel better, to feel whole.
It can ultimately lead to deflection of looking at those things that are really holding you back. So if anything, balance it. You can help someone else, but make sure you're doing something for yourself also. Because like they say on the airplanes, when you could still be on the airplanes, put that oxygen mask on you first, and then you can move forward and help others. It's a balance then.
Yeah.
And do not leave yourself behind, for that is leaving the 4-year-old behind, and we can't do that.
I visit her all the time, trying to go backward.
Bring her forward to you.
Well, maybe that'll help too, but I want to know before that. I know that moment.
It was pivotal.
I knew it was forgetting.
Because she was setting aside things outside of herself.
She knew she was forgetting everything.
And you remember
She knew
it.
her lives before. She had the knowledge. I'm sorry.
No, please don't be.
I want to be there. I've been so close so many times.
You will get there.
I will keep trying.
You will get there.
You're so sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Susie. All right. I know it can be so much, right? Hearing from all of us at one time. We've
A lot.
Yeah.
But it's all good.
This is recorded and we'll be posting it too, so you can go back and watch again. We've got Lisa and Henry. Maybe I'll say too that Thorne mentioned in the chat, personal grief and collective grief, both are valid and very real right now for all of us. Right? Empathy and compassion for all of us. For you, Tracy, and for all of us. Hey, Lisa.
Hey, Tracy.
Hey, little biz gal.
I can feel all the weight that you're feeling right now. And like a phoenix, it sounds like you're going through an immense transformation of renewal. And as a fellow artist, as a fellow creative, I understand what that feels like. I went through that a couple of years or so ago and went through this cloud of doubt that lasted a couple of years. And for me, it was, the fact that I had to close my business and move out to Seattle, which was great. I loved it. But then the journey was about transformation and completely not ignoring, but putting what I was creating in the past, but bringing the element forward in a new energy. And so the thing I had to ask myself, and then I'm going to ask you, is what brings you joy? What I want for you is I want you to create a list of things that bring you joy. If that means blowing bubbles, right? If that means watching shooting stars, whatever that means, create a list and go back to it, because I'm betting that 4-year-old is going to want to reclaim those moments of joy as well. And together, you two can then coexist and merge back together and form a new life together. That makes sense? As a creator, as a creative, I find my best moments when I'm creating and when I'm getting in the flow. And the one thing I didn't realize when I was growing up until a couple of years ago, when I came out of the spiritual broom closet, is that I was co-creating with spirit. Spirit was there for me all the time. I didn't realize it. And now that I get into more of these conversations with these wonderful practitioners, the more I learn. And when
That's
I learn,
my case. I've seen spirits. I've been with spirits all my life. Fundamental.
Yeah.
It's I'm not afraid of them.
Here's something interesting, Tracy. Do you know that you have a spirit guide?
I think I have a few.
Okay, great. That's awesome. I
don't know how to connect to them.
Well, there are some practitioners here that can help you with that. So tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to bug off early because I want them to give you some more guidance. But I want you to start that list of the things that bring you joy, because I believe great.
By every sense, by taste, by smell, by touch.
That's awesome.
All of them have it.
That's awesome.
It's probably 1,000 entries across the senses.
That's
a lot of
fantastic.
things bring me joy.
That's fantastic. So get reacquainted with that and learn how to communicate with your spirit guides. And I think that you're going to be on your path, your new energetic path.
Thank you
I hope this was helpful. Thank you.
so
Many
much.
blessings.
Thank you.
By the way, Kai, one of our practitioners who's going to be on the panel on Sunday, wrote in the chat that she's feeling called to send you energy if you're willing to accept it.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Thank you. Henry's next. And there's practitioners too. I'll say, if any of you need to leap off, please jump in and share your contact info. So it's in the video before you go. Go ahead, Henry. We've got one more question left next.
Okay, so would you timing me? I lost my timer.
It's okay, I'll do it. Don't
okay.
worry about it.
Okay. All right, Tracy. I have a few cards here, and I'm just going to share them with you.
Okay.
For some reason, I'm having a little bit of technical issues today with sharing my cards. It's usually not a problem, but so hopefully we'll be good. Okay, so can you see repose, limiting beliefs, the rose of life, and the magic is in you?
Yeah.
That's literally the story.
That's what?
That's literally the story. It's like, maybe it's more evident to me because I work with these cards all the time. So normally I read from the left to the right, but today I'm going to read from the right to the left. So I feel like the first thing for you to know is that the magic is in you. What do you hear when you hear that?
Yeah. Confirmation.
Right? You know,
I know it.
Exactly. And the thing is, like, with that comes not a responsibility, but a possibility, because a part of you is not coming from that place that the magic is in you. It's coming from the place that you're being oppressed and that you're being harmed, right? Do you feel it?
I'm not being harmed. I'm
emotionally or psychologically or something.
Yeah, emotionally I am. Yeah, I had a bad breakup of a few months ago.
Also the loss of the career. That's a harm.
Yeah.
Life is harming you.
Yeah.
And so you probably are familiar with the term catastrophic thinking. If not,
No.
Great. So then just read up on it. It's Martin P. Seligman, Authentic Happiness, his book. He introduced one of those things, catastrophic thinking. When you're saying that your career is collapsing, just this language is catastrophic language, and it's how it feels. So it's appropriate. However, there is a feedback loop that happens in your body because your body's listening and it takes it literal.
Yeah,
and it's getting very, very scared. So remember, the magic is in you. There's nothing collapsing around you that your magic is not more powerful than. So let me jump over here to repose. The repose over here, that is your solution. So being in repose from the story that you have about your life. I'm not saying story as in not true, but narrative. The narrative is, you have a lot of power over the narrative, more than you think. You can literally create a new story that is not as harmful and that is not as devastating to you. That's a little hard to do because it feels like lying. But if you think of yourself as an author, write a new story. And what you want to write, the story you want to write is the one that's not coming from your limiting beliefs. So when you say that your career has collapsed around you, that has now become a belief. Like at first it was just reporting on what appeared. Like, yeah, COVID couldn't do my job. But now it's become something that I would call a limiting belief. So become aware of that, how that's now writing the story for you. That belief.
Maybe I should not listen to that belief. Maybe I can resurrect.
Yes, exactly. And the rose of life, this is what I'm seeing the outcome is for you. When you come out of, go into repose so you can extract yourself from your limiting belief, you can reestablish that the magic is in you and you can recreate the rose of life. And that's what
I want to take a photograph. I got a screenshot.
if you want, you have it. If you need to, I can send it to you. If you put your email in the chat to me personally, then I will just send those to you. Stop sharing. Blessings, magician. The magic is in you. Right, right. I believe nothing else about you.
Thank you so much. Very enlightening.
Thank you so
Beautiful
much.
tarot.
Thank you.
Yeah, Henry's cards are lovely. Their cards are so lovely.
Anyone once has said I could paint. I need a job.
By the way,
tarot.
I can't see your eyes very well, but art creativity is often in people that have the artisan talent, and they're often so sensitive to all the sensual connections. And so all the things you shared make so much sense, that your interests and your history and your gifts and
I will show you my eyes. They're probably red.
It's okay. Yeah, it's harder.
They're blue, green.
I see a lot of different things. Yeah, it's just hard to see right now, but with your crying, it's just it influences things. But yeah, I see some sparkles in there too. So that's common with artisan. Well, I know Thorne and the interpreters have to get going, so I want to have them jump in. And Thorne, if there's anything else you wanted to say with Tracy, and then I know you all have to go, so I want you to be able to share about yourself too. We so appreciate Dana and Emily being here.
Thank you, everybody, so much.
Thank you, Tracy.
First, I wanted to mention Tracy to you. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences. And, I completely hear you in that. And I want you to continue to find support that you need on your journey. I just wanted to say that. So thank you. And then also, thank you for having us on this panel. Thank you for having me on this panel. I'm sorry, I need to go. My information is listed. My website is spiritoracle.com. Instagram is at Heart of Oak 8. And then with my email, you can contact me anytime. You can send me an email at heartofoak8@gmail.com. I do tarot, energy work, life coaching, astrology, reading your chart, that type of thing. So you can contact me on my website, Instagram, or by email. It's whatever you prefer to use. And thank you to having interpreters for accessibility. And thank you to Laureli and making connections and making this event tonight. This panel has been fantastic. So everybody have a good night.
Thank you so much.
And Mercury retrograde. Hope it works out. Bye.
Thank you so much, Thorne. And Thorne's special is full moon, Scorpio, lunar eclipse readings and Mercury retrograde readings. And Thorne's contact info is in the chat also for those of you that are here. Thank you so much, Thorne. And thank you, Emily and Dana. I'm so sorry if anyone else that's been utilizing Dana and Emily that won't be able to experience them anymore. They're going to also have to take off. Thank you so much. And Tracy, we've got you up here still because Susie has one more brief thing to share with you.
And thank you to the interpreters and to Thorne. I just love them so much. So Tracy, you had mentioned how you couldn't connect with your guides. May I suggest that you use this 1,000-item list of joys, focus on one and say, spirit guides, whoever's coming through, can you use whatever it is as a signal that they are there? So whether it's a scent or a sound or, whatever, something specific. And then as you notice it, stop for a moment and say, what message do you have? And trust what you hear. For many, that's the hardest thing, is trusting what you hear. You start to second guess it, but trust what you hear and let that message come through you. And that'll be an excellent first contact, if you will, for your guides. And to assure you that you're not alone. We have you and they have you too. So that's what I have. Thanks.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. I have to tap to speak. These iPhones, I just sometimes want to throw it out the window, but I just go chase it.
I think if you swipe to the left, it'll turn that off and you can just talk.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's been a very enlightening evening for me, and all of you panelists are great. I want to come back, listen more, interact more, and engage with a few of you down the road.
Thank you so much. We look forward to having you be part of our larger community and maybe stepping on stage sometime.
Perhaps.
Take care. I have information in
Thank
the
you.
chat, finally, for the first time too, for people in the audience that want to be part of the community. We welcome new practitioners and vendors, and I'll put that information in the chat again too. All right, Michelle, you are up on stage. Did you want to turn on your video and join us? Oh yeah, there you are. You're right there. All right. What is your question?
Can you hear me okay?
We can.
Okay. First of all, thank you to whoever helped me with this question. It's kind of a long story, but I'll try and sum it up. My mother passed away when I was 7 months old. My father raised me and my sister. My father passed away in 2008. I have been through 2 divorces. This last one was a 3-year narcissistic, gaslighting, stalking, unbelievable nightmare. That's still not ending. I have been disabled. I have lupus and rheumatoid arthritis since I was 24. I'm 46 now. So I live just on my disability. Sorry, my cat just fell. When I left my husband, my last husband, November of 18, when I came back to get my sons from my first marriage, he would not let me have them, or my dog. I was homeless for about 3 months. In 4 months, I went from 160 pounds to 83 pounds. I then moved closer to my boys, and I am living now in assisted living, I'm sorry, project housing, and have been doing okay. Finally, just this year, I have been able to get my belongings from my house. I was without everything for 3 years. And they're all in storage, and now the storage fees are burying me. My middle son, who's 19, for some reason, stopped talking to me when this happened, and he didn't like his stepfather. It was like I grieved for him. He finally, just this February, he has started talking to me again, but I very rarely see any of them, and they're 17, 19, and 23. Typical times, you know, they don't want to see mom, but when I left my husband, he was emotionally and extremely sexually abusive. So I have stayed by myself. Also with COVID and having autoimmune diseases, I don't leave my apartment much. And when I left my husband, he was very, very good in a small town, 800 people. He was very good at playing the victim. So I lost everyone. I lost all my friends because they were his by that point. I'm struggling to pay rent each month, and I'm getting there. I need to go through my storage units, but every box and everything I've opened is booby trapped with something from him, either a bad note or a wedding picture or a picture of my dog he would not let me have. Besides my boys, the only family I have alive is my sister, who hates me to the point where she has been in the hospital for 3 months with COVID, and I was going to go to Missouri from Montana to see her. And she sent me a text that she was very, very glad that our mothers never met me. To me, that is about the most hurtful thing anybody could ever say, because that is the only thing I've ever wanted, was to know my mom. I am completely alone. I try to get help to go through the storage units, and I offer, a portion of what I'm selling, but everybody that seems to respond, are gentlemen, or I'm not gonna say gentlemen, are men, and they want something else. And I can't do that. I have severe anxiety and depression. Actually started about 3 months into dating my second husband. I had now I see the red flags. I 2 years ago, my son that wasn't speaking to me in 2020, he graduated, and I was not allowed to go. I got on the interstate on the other side and decided I was going to play chicken with the semi. But then I realized that he may have a family, and I pulled out of the way. I went to the hospital and tried to check myself in, and they said I was a chronic condition, not an emergent. But I did get a counselor who I see every week. I take 32 pills a day to control my anxiety and panic. In 3 years, I have not had one person come visit me, except for my sons. I see them maybe a week out of the whole year, each one of them.
Yeah. Can I jump in and ask some questions? If there's a little bit more you want to share, I feel like just the bits of what you're experiencing, right? It's so much.
It's very overwhelming. I quit going to my doctors just because I didn't care. When the COVID and things started, I've always been a very concrete thinker to where I have to touch it to believe it. And so my dad was religious. I wasn't sure I still don't know for sure where I am, but I have been following this path. I think I picked up the cards and the pendulum to try and get my mom to talk to me. I am 100% alone. You mentioned earlier the hand thing. You see that because one of my medications literally took my teeth in less than 6 months. So I'm very self-conscious.
Shame. I just encourage you to look around on the screen and see, do you see the 5 of us that are here with you? Right? Can you feel that you're not alone right now? Let in as much of this as you can. Look around at us. We're here looking at you. We're here feeling you. We're here with you. You chose to come here and be with us. You asked for help and people supported you.
I found you today.
This whole group, right? You're not alone.
About a
You're
month
beautiful,
ago.
and you're beautiful. I encourage you to don't worry about your teeth. You're beautiful.
Well, and I have some that need to be adjusted, and I can do that. About 2 months ago, I got very upset. That was when my sister told me that, and I sliced my arms to bits. I wasn't trying to commit suicide. I actually used to be an EMT firefighter. So I just went across and I was just so angry with myself. So now I'm going to have scars. So far, I've hidden them from my sons.
So we all have different scars for different things. And I get like when the scars appear physically, right? And the shame connected to them. My mom ended her life and she had scars from where she had struggled in cry for help attempts.
I've tried crying for help. I've tried asking.
And just that the hospital
I have a couple of friends, but
where the hospital where you went, that they turned you away. I'm so glad that they got you connected with a therapist and that you've been going. That's really good.
yeah, actually I see her on telemedicine, and surprisingly, she believes in past lives. She believes in trying to help me meditate, but I also have ADHD, so that makes the meditating kind of hard, but she's been.
I would encourage you to, there are other ways that you can meditate that don't have to be still. So there's walking meditation, and I was just balancing on a ball. I know you got to do whatever works for your body, but I was just balancing on the ball the other day. It's like a meditation. And I do a social meditation online called Authentic Relating. So it's meditating with other people. It's an interpersonal meditation. And the ones on Wednesday evenings are free.
And what's it called?
It's Authentic Relating. So on Wednesdays, Authentic Seattle has events. Sometimes it's the interpersonal meditation, and sometimes it's games. So transformative games. It's a way of being real and deep and connecting with other people. So there are some things available like that. I'll get some information for you in the chat. I know Susie's ready to jump, and I want to say a few other things too about your history. Go ahead. What did you want to say, Michelle?
I just wanted to say, I know, well, when I was 18, I lived with a man who tried to kill me also. And actually about 5 years ago, he killed his girlfriend and himself. So it was a very real situation. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go, what my path is. I am frozen in a way.
Yeah.
And you said different meditations. I actually, I have a trike, a Harley trike. And when I ride, I have to concentrate so hard. That is the one thing when my brain can just be quiet.
That's great. And that's a form of a meditation. I used to throw in the potter's wheel, and I didn't realize until years later when I learned about meditation, that's a meditation. I have single focus.
And
so
I haven't like been on my bike in 2 years. Just because I didn't want to leave the house.
Yeah, and I get just a struggle of all these things. So I want to just link some of this back to just your eyes. Part of what I see in your eyes, your energy is a lot like mine. You have a lot of capacity to make it through things that are really hard. And that's part of how you've made it through all this, right? Persevered through all this. So I want you to, I just honor and recognize for yourself, you have so much capacity. Right? It's been so hard what you've made it through. And you have the capacity to make it through all this. You have the strength. You've been willing to let the universe flow through you and support you to make it here. You came here today. Okay, it's really honoring yourself and the journey you've been through. And you mentioned that your mother passed away when you were 7 months old, did you say?
I have one picture.
So usually when we my grandmother was narcissistic. I've had lots and lots of clients and friends and colleagues and lessons like narcissism, right? So my grandmother was, so it shows up in my life and my lessons. Usually when it shows up, it's because we have that history from childhood. Do you know if it was your mother or your father? There's someone else in your early family.
It probably was my father. He and I also had 6 stepmothers, and I can't tell you how many fiancés that he had. He was always looking for my mom. But yeah, I rarely got off the phone with him, not in tears. And I still called him every day to check on him. But
and so part of the unwinding of this is you learning to prioritize you over people like him. And so getting in touch with your anger that you haven't been able to express. It wasn't safe when you were a child, and learning to express it and feel it now, knowing your worth and your value is all connected to feeling anger in a healthy way.
see, I don't feel like I'm worth anything.
And
I really don't.
So Michelle, I want to, number one, I know that you actually do feel like you're worth something because you came here today and you're connecting with us and you're sharing with us. And so I encourage you to find and connect with that part of you that does know. I know there's a part of you that knows because you're here. You're demonstrating that it's here. Right? And then so many things are so hard, and you have been alone in many ways, and you haven't had the resources that you need, and you're finding them. I want to encourage you to speak of it as, I'm finding ways to not be alone. I'm finding the people that can be here to really support and partner with me. Right? You're stepping into this journey. So I know Susy's got something to share with you, so I want to be able to go to Susy. But yeah.
I honor you, Michelle. You have had experiences that I've not had in that way. May I offer up some ritual for you? I also have some thoughts that your mother is there with you. As soon as you came up, I saw her on your left shoulder, over your left shoulder, and she is so heartbroken that this is the life that happened to you. Your father was a narcissist, and she got out. She is sorry she left you in this situation, and yet she knows you have an inner store of strength to draw on. It may not seem like much in this moment, but as Laureli said, you're here. You're with us. We are holding this container for you, allowing you to release that. And the cards I pulled, the one that is really standing out for me, it's the shaman card. I have to get it in camera, but it came to me inversed. So we're talking about an internal process for you. This is your cue for your healing. You call on every ounce of spirit, of resources that you have, because a lot of shamans, a lot of practitioners and healers are part of the wounded healer paradigm, because we've got to show ourselves that we can get through our particular grief, our particular trials. And you have just started on this path. I feel that removing some of this energy from you can be physically manifested by continuing to go through those boxes. Yes, he booby trapped him, because you know what? He's got all kinds of entity, or you can call him a demon or whatever, and he did booby trap those. You coming in with that attitude of with the psychic protection, and we'll talk about that Sunday, and I know Henry has got so much knowledge about it, and I can tell you about the containers I use. I feel it needs to be a bit more, but setting that container for yourself that nothing is going to get through, that you can look at it with that, they call them jaundiced eyes, which is just very skeptical, but looking at it like, okay, I could keep this, or no, that's not okay. You are making that delineation. And as soon as you clear out a box, toss out that stuff.
I don't want to burn it, actually.
If you can do that, great, more power to you, because fire, you're incorporating fire and air. Water's not going to
Sagittarius.
be a part of it. Yeah, okay. I'm an Aries and I don't know, apparently that's typical, but that's just me. But do what you need to. Make that the ritual, that you are burning away this part of you and you can rise from the ashes like a phoenix. You're going to be doing that several times. Now, we also have a full moon on Monday, which is Monday, the 15th and 16th, and that is a prime opportunity to release, using fire to release and say, I am letting go this pain. I'm letting go of the narcissistic tendencies of partners. I am finding my worth. And then 2 weeks later on the new moon, you set a new intention saying, I have worth. I am worthy of finding my heart's peace. And you can do this and repeat it. Every time you repeat a ritual, however it manifests for you, whether it's brushing your teeth the same way, having that bedtime ritual, burning a fire, whatever it takes, it shifts the energy and it becomes further embedded in you and helps to clear away that which is holding you back. And you've got your mother there going, sure, this sounds okay, because she's not really sure what to make of all of us. And that's okay. She's there helping you. And you've also got all kinds of guides with you. Call them angels, call them beings of light. You've got some intergalactics there with you. You have got this whole phalanx of guides with you who are, they're not, okay, see, Archangel Michael's one of those who stands behind people and goes, hey, here I am, and he jumps all around, because that's my relationship with them. You develop a relationship with your guides, calling them in. And right now, the best way for it to manifest is your mother. Have her come through and she can speak for all of the guides. So the other card I drew was Full Moon. And then this one was Dream Time. And this is inversed. So here's how it looks. This is the Earth Magic deck. And Dream Time is also—
I wrote that down to buy today.
Really? Okay. I don't want to take up my time talking to you about how great a deck I think it is, but it's a great deck. But Dream Time is a great time for you to explore. And yet when you get back from Dream Time, making the statement, any agreements I may have made in Dream Time that are not in divine alignment with my soul purpose are null and void. You can be done with these agreements. You got these creatures coming in who are saying, yeah, sure, you've done it before, we'll have you do it again. Now you know better. So you can break these agreements that you may possibly agree to. You get to break them and say, nope, not anymore. That's going to shift your energy. Yet another ritual to shift the energy.
And I'm pretty new with most things. I don't even know. I guess I can't say I've even done a ritual yet. Moon water.
Okay.
And crystals. I'm surrounded by healing crystals. That's my passion.
Right. Oh my gosh. Okay. Again, yet another thing I don't have time to take up with, but find those crystals that talk to you. Ask them the questions. Who's going to go with me to Dream Time this night? Okay. Who's going to help absorb all of this crap that I've been dealing with? Who can I take with me as I clear out those boxes to protect me? Use what you have to help set this energy for you. And the more you do it, the more you get that confidence. It's magic. Magic manifests in so many ways. It doesn't have to happen in one particular way. Okay. Candles are good too. They're like, tell her about candles. You can use candles to manifest too. But again, I've got to let others talk. And I do hold you in the highest regard, Michelle, here. Thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you.
You've got this. You have it. It's not easy, but you're going to get this. You are getting it. So blessings.
Thank you.
Thank you, Susie. We've got Henry next to the line.
Okay. All right, Michelle, let me show you the cards that I have. Okay, so the first card that came up was magic. And I'm like, What? Why magic?
The baby.
Yeah, right. So magic is you access anything and everything you can get your hands on. Because if you access those many different things, it looks like magic what you're doing. So right now, where you are is that you tell me if I'm wrong, because my ego helps, and it helps and gets things wrong. So I try to have it not help a lot. So where you're at right now is in disbelief, I think, in disbelief over how bad you got screwed. Does that feel real?
I guess I've never really thought of it that way. I'm trying to shift my mindset to more not negative, but positive things.
Fantastic.
I wonder if what I did to deserve all of it is more my mindset that I'm trying to change.
So it's a lot. It's a lot. And I think if we look at your life through 3D eyes, if we thought that this physical world is all there is, which obviously you don't think, otherwise you wouldn't be here. But if we look at it through these 3D eyes, what you have is a litany of injustice and hardship and hurt and harm and pain. But when we look at it through mystical eyes, divine eyes, that's magic. Then we can say you are as powerful as the most powerful. And this is happening for your own highest purposes, orchestrated by you for the intention of getting from it what you're getting from it. That would be the most extreme way of the opposite of how you're seeing it. So right now you're deeply, deeply in the story of what's happening to you and what has happened to you. And your only way out is to look, it's perfect. That's exactly what was meant to happen, is to put a pin in the story. The story is the entire narrative, from the narcissistic parent to the sexually abused narcissistic husband to being alone, all of this, like to put a pin into this entire story. It's not going away, but put a pin into it. And ask yourself what you can create now, just conjuring from nothing, because that's magic. Conjuring from nothing, not what has happened, but what you would like to see happen. Invent something. So that's what this card is about.
One real quick thing I meant to tell you guys.
I got more for you. Wait, I got more for you.
Okay.
Got way more for you. This is just like, be a magician instead of the victim of the horrible things that happen in your life. And here's
Henry, it's okay.
card.
I just feel like I want to hear what Michelle had to say. If Michelle's going to be brief.
Okay, sure.
All I wanted to say, I grew up thinking my great grandmother was actually Native American, and I always thought I was. But with lupus, the 23andMe did a free test for me, and I am 49% Irish and 48% French and German, which blew me away. I had no idea that. So I want to I thought about leaning that way and learning about my heritage.
Susy, yeah, go ahead, Susy. What is?
I really do want to interject that the paternal DNA overwrites the maternal DNA frequently. I have Cherokee in my lineage. In my DNA, I am so white. I am so white. So look at the lineage. Okay, so yeah, I've got a little Iberian, I have a little North African. Most of it is white, but still there is that line. So do please look at your genealogy. Thank you for letting me interrupt. I apologize.
I'll just say too, I was a geneticist, and I really don't know exactly how accurate these things are. It's all statistical, and who knows. So yeah, know what you know. Go ahead, Henry, back to you.
So something else, I want to show you one more card, but there's something else I wanted to mention, which is when you're in a relationship with a narcissist, the effects of that on your sense of self, which includes self-esteem and confidence, it cannot be overstated. Literally cannot be overstated. In fact, I don't think it can be stated how devastating that is. I experienced this myself, and I was pretty up on top of it and got out of it pretty quickly. And I'm to this day still processing. So you've gone through something that you don't wish on your worst enemy. And so a lot of what you're experiencing is a result from that. I mean, there's a lot to unpack here, and I hope you do that with your therapist. And that my heart goes out to you. It's one of the worst experiences in the world to go through that because of the mind F that it is. It just turns you inside out. I hear you.
Yeah.
So you said that you are alone, that you literally have no one, right?
Yeah. Even I saw my psychiatrist last week for medication, and even she said, I've been seeing her for 15 years. She actually jumped up and down and danced when I told her I had left my husband. But
I believe that.
But she agreed. She says, you have zero support system. And I said, I know. I don't. I have my counselor on Mondays. That's all I've got. I mean, my boys are too young. I can't lean on them. And my oldest one's into enough bad stuff right now as it is that I worry. But
I want you to go ahead and look at the screen and look at this card and tell me how this card speaks to you.
I can see it. Well, it's like a guy is kind of, I guess, removed himself from the situation and is looking at it in a different perspective, maybe.
Not bad. I like the different perspective part, especially. So this card is called belonging, because you might be alone in terms of having individuals with you, but you're part of an entire species. You're part of an entire web of life. This is undeniable. You cannot be denied that, because it's true. You are connected to all of life and all of the whole universe. I'm sure you've heard before that we're made of stardust. There's like literally nothing we're not connected with. So these things are there for you. This entire planet, this entire ecosystem is there for you. It's just sometimes people withdraw, but the rest of life does not withdraw from us. Like when you go outside and you go and you hug a tree, that tree is not going to say, I don't care about you. You can't even imagine that. So what I recommend for you, something very nuts and bolts, is to approach some healing for yourself from the ecotherapeutic vantage point. Let the nature help you with healing you. So ecotherapy often is that you're supposed to go outside and then you feel better, but it can be a lot more reciprocal, because the nature beings are persons as well. They can hear you, they can feel you, they can experience you, and they can share with you what they have to give that you can use, that can help you heal. So it can be reciprocal. You're in front of a tree or a flower and you go, you're so beautiful, and give this flower love, and the flower gives love back to you. So I think that's extraordinary. If you have any access to any nature, that's what I recommend that you.
I'm in Montana.
So there you go. So like actively go out and seek the healing in nature. It's gonna be a game changer.
I know. And as my counselor said, I need to get out of my house more.
I would recommend that you look up ecotherapy, so
Look
that
up
you can.
what? Ecotherapy? Okay.
Ecotherapy,
I
so
wrote
you
it down.
can, Razak is the name, Razak. Razak, ecotherapy. I want to get the spelling for you right, because there's different kinds of ecotherapy.
And I'm not completely alone.
Yeah, you're not at all. Theodore Razak, Roszak. You are alone from the people you wish you weren't alone from. And that can give the distorted view that you're completely alone. But you're actually not alone. I mean, there's an entire world of living beings that are around you and are willing to share this planet and this world and this life with you. Blessings.
Thank you, Henry.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm going to say too, just the card belonging. So it's so important that you belong yourself. That's really part of what Henry's card was about, right? Seeing how you belonging, owning your belonging. And just Trista shared some really just affirming and connecting info in the chat. So you have that later. And Joshua's next in line.
Hi, Michelle. My heart goes out to you and just sending you so much love. I pulled some cards I just want to go over really quickly. So the past energy that I see you connected to right now is this Eight of Wands reversed. So it's just reconfirming kind of what you've told and the other practitioners have said, is that your will has been broken over such a long amount of time, such a drawn out process, that you don't even know what standing in your own authenticity and integrity and what you want and what your own desires are, what that even looks like. So I just really want to encourage you to take those small steps, just even if it's just one time throughout the day of like, what do I want to eat right now? What do I want to do right now? Just taking those little moments of like, what's one thing that is solely my decision, that is just a heart decision of what I want to do, what my desires are, and then act on it, and then show yourself that you are allowed to follow through with what it is that you want to do, that you are worthy of and entitled to making your own decisions in whatever capacity that looks like. And especially right now, what I think will be important to you is to find that joy. Like, what are those moments of like pure, unadulterated joy that you can give yourself at least one tiny moment every single day? Because so much of what you've brought up, and I think it's important that it's being seen, but there's a lot of heaviness, there's a lot of attachment to the story, and there's a lot of grief that you're going through. So I think it'll be really helpful for you to balance that out with some joy, with some happiness, with some fun, excitement, passion, so that it's not just a long list of heaviness. There can at least be one little kernel of light that pops up throughout the day. So whatever that looks like for you, maybe it is like what Henry was saying and doing the ecotherapy, or maybe it's just going to the store and getting an ice cream cone, something small, something that's solely your decision, that can bring joy, that can bring light and warmth into your life, is going to be more helpful than you might even realize right now. And then moving forward into just an expansion of that joy into embodying that divine child of what do you want to do? Because now there's no one around you telling you what you have to do or what you should do, or trying to hold you down or tell you what's good or bad, right or wrong, or the other thing. And so maybe bringing in more of a perspective that you're free, that you do have this freedom, that nobody's trying to limit you or continue. There might still be emotional manipulation, but ultimately you are the one who has the power now to do what you want to be doing. So try and find that same blessing of like, well, what do I want to do? What did little girl me like doing before all of the programming was put on top, before all of the conditioning, and then going out and doing it. You were saying riding your motorcycle was something that you love doing. No one's stopping you from going out and buying a motorcycle and going riding anymore.
Oh, I have one.
And so it's going out and doing it. And any of the self-doubt, any of the conditioning that's telling you not to do those things, let all of that go, because now you're in charge. Now you have the power, and what you want is law. No one can tell you not to follow what it is that you want to do on that deepest heartfelt level. So I think the most important thing for you right now is figuring out what you want and using that as an opportunity to pull you out of when you feel stuck. Using that like, well, what do I want to do? what did I want to do when I didn't feel like I had the freedom to do that, and now that I can, really going out and just doing that and proving to yourself how powerful you are, how much fun you're allowed to experience, and how wonderful this whole life game can be now that you're not tied to all of those things that you believed were holding you down.
Yeah. Well, that's part of the reason I stayed. This was the first time I'd ever been alone. I moved, after my first divorce, I moved back in with my father, and then I got remarried again. So when I got here, to be honest, there were a couple of my husband's friends that were very interested, and I was just like, I need time to figure out who I am.
Yeah.
And I actually just got a book called Rock Hounding Montana, and
Awesome.
it tells you exactly the coordinates, where to go, what you need to look for, what tools you need. And my motorcycle gets 90 miles to the gallon. So, and it's,
Yeah,
it's
go
a
out
trike.
and do those
So,
things that bring you joy, because there's no reason not to.
and now it's getting warmer. So,
Best of luck, Michelle.
thank you.
Great, thank you. And Henry, if you have something really quick, because I know Susie's got to get going, so we need to do the, and that Lisa's got to go. Oh, you should do that. Why don't we have, so Henry, if it's real quick, say something, then we'll do
It's
Susie.
really quick. It's really quick, Henry. I'm not Henry. I'm Henry. You're not Henry. Well, Michelle, it's really quick. I had made a note here, but I'd forgotten to mention it. The guidance that I got for you that came out of left field was for you to study the different mythologies, like just Google study, different mythologies, different goddesses, to
Like
find
Norse mythology?
Norse, Greek, Hindu, Celtic, just look for
Marian.
mythology and find the goddess that has a life similar to yours and see how she solved it.
Yeah, like look at Inanna too. Like Inanna's one that I've always connected with, and she goes to hell and comes back.
Inanna?
Inanna. Yeah.
And Persephone is also a good one.
Yeah, I know the Norse because my youngest son is really into all those the shows right now with
It's just to
Loki
explore and find the ones that you connect with.
Yeah, it's a good teacher.
And you said, Henry, I think you said, and how they got out, right? The mess.
Yeah, and how they solved it, because they usually solve it. And don't just ignore those. Don't need that lesson.
Right. So Susie, I know you've got to go. Go ahead and connect with us again, and then we'll go to Lisa.
Okay. Thank you all so much. This has been an amazing panel. My name is Susy Parker Goins. You can find me at bluelightninghealing.com. You can find and email me at Susy, S-U-S-Y, at bluelightninghealing.com. I know Laureli is so conscientious about putting a contact information in there. I also have a discount, MeWe 20 for 20% off any session I provide that you sign up for. Again, I am grateful to everyone. Let's make the most of the full moon and let go of all the stuff that's really bugging us. And yeah, I love you and blessings. I'll see you all Sunday.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Susie.
you.
All right, Lisa, and then we'll be closing up after we just complete. Go ahead, Lisa.
Hey, Michelle. You've got quite the story, and all I can say is bravo to you for persevering and persisting. I grew up with narcissistic family, mother, and then I attracted the boyfriends and the friends, and they just kept coming until I figured out how to remove myself from hell. And so, yeah, it's going to take you some time, but at least this is a starting point for you. And when you finally realize enough is enough, then it's a matter of reclaiming your own power and figuring out what that looks like for you. And I know that maybe it's a matter of when you feel an emotion and start feeling angry thoughts, maybe it's just time to Marie Kondo that shit, right? And just say, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to stop my angry thoughts. I'm going to stop the despair, because, you know, I'm feeling that I don't have anyone, and just stop it and take another look and say, you know what? I was with a great group Friday evening, the 13th, and met, you know, all these panelists and all these wonderful other participants in the audience who've been incredibly supportive. And know that you can come back to us, because MeWe constantly has all these wonderful programs that you can just sit and participate in the chat as other people are also getting help. And so I think somewhere along the line, you might have asked Spirit, help me find a community, because I did that last year and I found MeWe. So this is just a really great community to start getting involved with. Rituals are as simple as just brushing your teeth. That's a ritual. So don't get overwhelmed with, oh, I don't know many rituals, or, you know, I have to do all this. No, it's just incredibly simple. And one ritual I would like to offer to you is to know that you can ask your spirit guide, your angels, and even your mom. I also saw your mom stand over you when you came on, and I know that she's still there, because I'm getting full body chills. I'm clairsentient, so I feel all of that as well. Ask her questions, just like one question evening before dream time in your journal. Ask her a specific question. She's going to answer you in your dreams. So as you start to wake up, have that journal right there and write down everything that you pulled in from those dreams. It could be icons, they could be images, it could be music. Like, you know, you might be waking up with a song with just a phrase in your head. Write that down. There's so many ways that our loved ones come to us when we're dreaming. Write all of that down. When you get your answer, ask another question. And if that means you have to take a freaking nap so you can get another question, do it. Do it. Take those naps, right? And then also ask them what other ways they can contact you, right? Because if you love doing stuff like rock hounding, right? Maybe they'll come to you through, you know, through the trees, or through the rocks that you collect, or through the wind. Maybe it just might be this beautiful breeze that blows by you as you're just kind of walking along a riverside. You're going to bring your journal with you, so that way, if you get any insights, any inspiration, any hits, write it down. Stop everything and write it down, because those are going to be the answers that you've been seeking as you ask those questions. Does that help?
I just started journaling this week, actually.
That's fantastic. There's this thing called automatic writing by, I forget who the author is, but look for automatic writing experience. And it's wonderful, because he brings you through how to talk to your angels and guides each morning, and then ask a question. And through that automatic writing, you're going to get your answer. Okay. His name is Michael Sandler. He's the author of Automatic Writing Experience. You'll love the book, and you'll be able to stay in contact with your mom and your spirit guides and your angels. And so know that you aren't alone. You've got that whole team behind you. You got the universe. It has your back. And then you have also this wonderful community. Okay. And then each evening, even when you do a release for the full moon and anything else, I want you to say, I am worthy. I am loved. I am love. Write that several times in your journal.
I am worthy.
I am loved. I am love.
Okay.
Okay. Every evening, every morning. And also, before I part, I wanted to let you know that there are some wonderful videos on YouTube. I don't know if you have access to YouTube.
Oh, I love YouTube. That's about the only thing I watch anymore.
Okay. So there are a lot of healing videos through self-hypnosis. Sorry, I mispronounced that. Self-hypnosis.
I have a eye mask that is Bluetooth, and I put one of those on every night.
Oh, that's fantastic. Good start. Good start. And then there's lots of guided meditations, and then also wonderful music through chanting. So you can go through the sounds of your chakras and help help clear those out?
I had thought about, I had just found today also two black candle cord cutting ritual to let go.
Yeah.
And burn with the string, because he still drives by. He now knows where I'm at again. And I just, now when he drives by, I don't shake. I actually just kind of laughed this week and went, guess you didn't have anything better to do.
Yep.
He's
That's
also
exactly
16 years older than me. This man is 63 years old and he's acting like this.
Yep. And that's the best thing you can do is just laugh at him. I don't know if Kai is still here. Kai has a great ritual. She's got a great course. I took it on shielding, and she talks about all of that. It's fantastic. So I highly recommend and I endorse that course.
Come on Sunday. Kai's on the panel on Sunday. You'll learn.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah. She'll probably talk about a lot of that stuff. So
Kai? Okay.
Yeah. Kai. She's wonderful.
Okay.
I hope this is all helpful. Just know that growing up with a narcissistic family and attracting all the narcissists in your life, it's a lesson. Unfortunately, many of us have to learn, and it's life lasting. So it's a matter of learning how to heal from it and moving forward. And I wish you all the best. Many blessings, Michelle.
Thank you.
You bet.
And you do. You look familiar from somewhere.
I have that face. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you so much, Michelle, for asking for help, receiving support, being here to share, receiving support from us. And you're doing so much to take care of yourself. Thank you for letting us be part of your path and helping you continue to step into care for you and to step into creating new life.
Okay. What time is that on Sunday?
Starts at 2 p.m. Pacific time. So if you in Mountain Time, that's
1.
3 p.m. for you?
Or 3, yeah.
3 p.m. for you, yeah, in the same Zoom room. So join the fair, or join MeWeOnline.com or jointhefair.com. They all come to the same place. Great.
Okay.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you guys so much.
You're welcome. Thanks those of you in the audience that supported Michelle to be here to ask her question. Thank you, practitioners, for staying so late. And we got to close out. So Henry, go ahead, share first. So Henry, and then Joshua, and then Lisa. Thank you so much, all of you, for staying here late. Unmute. Henry, let's get you unmuted. Yeah.
Gosh, always that. Just a little button. Michelle, I just want you to notice that you're feeling better. Am I right? Right? That's what happened. You caused that. I know we all worked with you, but if you hadn't come here, this wouldn't have happened. And if you didn't let it in, this wouldn't have happened. So just, you're doing the magic. It's happening now. So, okay, I'm so boring in comparison to that. Look, you want to work with me, you can reach me, or find out if you want to work with me, you can reach me at henryindiaholden.com. I offer a free 30-minute conversation where you can find out if we are a good fit, and if you feel that I can help you with whatever you need help with. Mine is a metaphysical consultancy, so I work with many different modalities. What's biggest here is that I feel divinely guided. So I use the modalities, but it's divinely guided. And I've just started, I got my ecotherapy certification from Pacifica. And so I am now really getting into that. And I realize when you believe that all is divine, that's ecotherapy from the spiritual perspective. So it's really been part of my life, my whole life. And I have a special, which is 3 sessions, a 3-session pack for $99. So that's like what, $33 a session or something like that. And by going to my website, you can go to rates, etc., and you can find out. Basically, you need spiritual counseling. I can do that. You need to just get an orientation of where you are, it's like a snapshot. Usually the tarot is really great for that. You need make a plan, identify what you're about, make a plan, and what the steps are to manifest it. That's what the life coaching is for. And the ecotherapy is when everything that you have done hasn't quite done it for you. Most likely, we got to reconnect you with the more than human world. Thank you.
Thank you, Henry.
Thank you.
Right, Joshua. I know we got to get you unmuted. Why did we get our technology so much harder? We lost you on video too.
There he is.
All right, now let's get you unmuted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, hello. So I just want to thank you all for allowing me to be here. Thank you, Lorelei, for setting up this container. I definitely appreciate it. So my name is Joshua Martin. Just to close out, you can find me at my website, consciouscollectivenetwork.com and /Joshua for more information about me, what I do. I work as a divine problem solver. So if you have anything going on in your life that you need help to see more clearly, or just want to know where you're at and need a mirror to be held up to you so you can see yourself more clearly, that's what I do. Specifically working with tarot and doing past life readings, which I feel is especially prevalent right now. A lot of us are having lifetimes and timelines pop up to be seen, lessons and codes absorbed from that and integrated and then closed and cleared out so we can move on to our best and highest path without having to reloop in those old stories or those old traumas. So thank you so much for all being here. And I'm Joshua.
I say your special is $30 for 15 minutes. And
oh yes, that is my special.
And people can find you online at consciouscollectivenetwork.com /Joshua. And you're at the consciousdreamer44@gmail.com. Great.
I've never had a tarot reading.
Well, you got some tonight from some of the
Yeah, I did.
oracle cards, but yeah.
Oh, I have oracle cards. I've kind of started a collection.
That's great. Thank you, Michelle. All right, so we're gonna have
Thank you.
Lisa close out now too. Go ahead,
Yep.
Lisa.
Thank you, Lorelei, and thank you for inviting me to this fabulous panel this evening on Friday the 13th, Witchcraft and Alchemy. So happy to be included. I'm Lisa Stewart of Sigil Magic Goddess, and I'm a creative mixed medium. I'm an intuitive, a medium, and I use these gifts to help you find the courage to co-create with spirit. One of the things that gets me charged up is when people get the courage to create and inspire themselves to keep going and pursuing their dreams. So if you're feeling stuck, uninspired, or just want to get started in your business, let's work together to conjure some magic. I can help you talk about who you are and what you do so that you can attract, resonate, and emotionally connect with your customers. And there are a variety of ways that we can work together through various consulting packages that I have that you can find on my website, tarot and oracle readings for your business, workshops, and digital planners. I've got 2 workshops currently going on a couple times a month. One is how to start a business when you don't know where to start, and brand your magic message. This is going to help you talk about how you can change lives with your gifts. You can find me on sigilmagicgoddess.com. I'm on all the socials, and I have a few specials you can find in the chat. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this evening. I'm Lisa Stewart with Sigil Magic Goddess. Stay magical.
Thanks, Lisa. And I'm Laureli Shimayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader, body psychology coach, and matchmaker. You can find all about me at laurelishimayo.com. That's LAURELISHIMAYO.com. And my work is about 40 to 45% off if you want to sign up for something today or in the next few days from being here tonight. I offer a short 20-minute consultation too if you want to get a sense of what it would be like to work with me, what we might explore, and what that might be like. And thanks everyone for coming here tonight to the MeWe panel. Our theme was Witchcraft and Alchemy here on Friday the 13th, and we've got lots more events coming up. On Sunday, starting at 2 p.m. Pacific time, we have a panel on psychic protection. Saturday, May 28, we have a Metaphysics and Intuition practice circle for strengthening your gifts. If you're starting to practice, you've been practicing for a while, come practice with your peers. If you simply want to practice seeing what your intuition says and where you're tapping in and get feedback from others, come to that. We have a fair coming up on June 1 with about 16 practitioners. That's online. And we have lots more events coming up, and that's all online and in person. If you're in the Seattle area, I help run the BEPC Expo. That's going to be in a week. That's May 21 and 22 in Kent, Washington, Seattle area. And then June 4 and 5, we're in Portland. June 11 and 12, we're in Linwood, which is again in the Seattle area. And then June 25, 26, we're in Eugene. These are the MeWe fairs that are in person. We have usually around 50 or so, sometimes more, practitioners and vendors. Great opportunity to be with the community in person, if that works for you. And great bringing on all of our babies. I know Henry's baby is there, and Elote was on earlier sending you healing, Michelle, and I'm so glad you have a cat. All right, thank you everyone for being here and doing this all with us. Thank everyone for staying late. I know we stayed like an extra hour, more than an extra hour. We all do this together, right? It's each of us on our own journeys. That's the me, and we do it together in community. This is how we help heal and support each other and grow to empower others and share the energy of helping us all open, right, and connect. So thanks everyone for being here and being part of making this happen.
Thank you guys.
And our website is mewefairs.com, MEWEFAIRS.com. So you know how to find out all about
MEWE.
Oh, it's MEWEFAIRS.com. And there's if you just go to the page with how you got here today of joinmeweonline.com or jointhefair.com, that'll take you to our online page and you'll see all of our online events.